Hey, I want to thank the ATFers for being here right now. Feels like it's been forever since I streamed. It's only been a couple of days, but last couple of days have felt like some long days, man. I uploaded a video. I don't remember. I think it was the last stream I did. And man, I feel bad about that. I want to apologize to the ATFers because I didn't even notice until I went live and people were actually there in real time in the moment to let me know about the terrible echo. And then I was made aware of it and then I fixed it. But I realize now, I didn't even realize till just right now in this moment that you guys were experiencing that echo too, so I apologize for that. But there was someone that left me a comment like earlier today, and then I think someone left one yesterday. They're like, bro, I can't listen to this echo. I'm like, dude, I literally timestamped it. And I said to ignore everything until after that fact. People don't read or something. But I want to say thank you to those of you that are listening right now after the fact. I appreciate you very much. Let me set this all up right here. I don't know why I feel like it's been so long since I've done a stream. I literally streamed last night. I did a members only stream. I don't know. I feel funky today, man. Nothing ever seems to go right. Every single day feels like a big old fail. I know I'm preaching to the choir, right? Raja's like, you could say that again. Please hang in there with me while I type this up. You already know how it is. They make me go live before I'm ready. It's so dumb. I apologize. Let's see. All right, I think that's everything I need. Okay. Let's see here. Let's turn that down. Put this right here. Put that right there. Put this right here. Okay, I think we're good now. I hope you guys are having a good shift. I hope you're having a good commute. Whatever you're working on right now, I hope it's going smoothly for you. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to be here. Let's get ready to do this thing. I feel like I'm missing something, but maybe it's just I feel like I haven't done this in so long again. It feels weird. I don't know why. Then you might say you're in love. Hello, hello. I wonder if that's where Kurt Cobain got it from. Hello, 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 hello. Hello. Oh, Angel Padilla. What's up, man? What's up? Bro, look at this guy right here. Angel Padilla, come on, David Flores. You're up there, bro. You're up there. You're definitely up there. What's up, Maze Man? Ordinary Pete, Random Thoughts. Angel Padilla, yes. Give the man his chancla. There you go. Hydro, what? Are you disrespecting Big Al? Are you playing with me right now? You're disrespecting Big Al? How dare you? How dare you, bro? You're not gonna get extra pork chop like that, bro. Jessica Maldonado, Justin Sanders. Justin Sanders. Grendel HVS. Two dudes I wanted to talk to. Hey, Christopher Keefe. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I want to say something right off the top. And if somebody comes here after the fact, you already know that after the factors are the downness of the down. And I don't mean it like that. I mean, like, you're coming after the fact to begin with. So I know you're going to hang in there with me. I know you got that patience and long suffering and whatnot. What's up, Michael? So I want to front load this real quick before I get into my main topic. I want to think of how I want to say this. I wish I could chop this up because there's different. I'm gonna chop this up. Grendel HVS. Grendel HVS sent a very generous donation to my PayPal a couple hours ago, I think. Not even live. Again, I always make it a point to bring this up to people when we're not even live. Obviously, not going after the accolades, not going after, and I'm not saying that that's what people are doing when they do it, but I'm saying, especially when we're not even live, someone going out of their way and coming out of pocket like that when I'm not even right there in front of their face, that's different, man. And Grendel HVS slapped down 150 big ones in the PayPal and shared some very, very supportive words that I want you to know I'm very thankful for them, bro. And I received them. You're spot on. I need to, all of those things are accurate, and I need to put that message into action. Everything was spot on. And I believe Grendel sent that because of the members only stream last night, because some of the things in there were referenced. So it really did mean a lot to me. I know that was a super low budget stream too. It was one of those late night with the Grandmaster. It was after dark and everything. Very different kind of stream. So I want to say thank you, bro. That was above and beyond. That was crazy generous. And it goes a long way. It goes a long way. I mean, there's things going on. There's movement going on in my life right now. And things keep coming up left and right, especially now that we're in the midst of parting ways with the house. And of course, things keep coming up. And it's like, there's been a few things and it's like, I could actually take care of it because of these people that have been a blessing. We're trying to move right now. We're trying to move. It's hectic. We have people coming in looking at the house and stuff. I'm not going to be specific about it because I don't want you to think I'm doing something I'm not. We had a couple different things that went out in our house. Different things attached to the house, appliances. It's like, what the heck is happening? It was like that movie, The Money Pit with Tom Hanks. But because of how generous people have been the last month or two, I wasn't stuck in a hole. It's like you guys didn't even know what you were being a blessing for. These things just went sideways. And there was a moment I was like, what the heck are we going to do? And then it was like, oh, life has been different the last 2 months. I know, because I'm not being an idiot and buying gaming consoles and stuff like that and blowing money on Chinese food buffets. I'm saving money. I'm going to pay bills off. And I was able to take care of a couple things I would have never been able to take care of because of the kind of people and the generosity in this chat. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Grendel. And thank you for the kind words. I mean, I know what it's like and you know what? There are parts of me that are glad that I took that detour that I did the last couple years to work some stupid, hard, demanding jobs, because it gave me a very fresh appreciation for the people that wake up early in the morning, do that commute, do that drive, put in those hard hours with some stupid managers that don't even like you and annoying coworkers and so on and so on. It gave me a super fresh appreciation for that. So I know how significant it is for people to part ways with their hard-earned dollars. But even beyond that, the words, bro. Taking the time to express those sentiments. That's everything, bro. Thank you. I also want to say a big, fat, overdue welcome for the homie, Justin Sanders. Justin Sanders. Justin Sanders, I want you guys to know something. And I'm going to get into a topic. I'm trying my best not to turn every single video. I'm trying not to. I'm very quickly going to change the name of this channel to Mexican PayPal. I want to give you some content. You know, it's not my intention to just talk about money, but there's no way that I'm going to disrespect people throwing down like this. Justin Sanders sent me insanely ridiculous, otherworldly donation a couple weeks ago now, I believe. And it was a debacle because there have been several people in here. The generosity in this chat is so crazy. I've had several people tell me the bank is calling me. They're freezing my funds because they think I got hacked because I keep donating to you. That's how the generosity that's going on in this community. And Justin Sanders sent me a donation, and I got an email from PayPal immediately, and I was like, oh snap. And then it disappeared. And then he emailed me. He's like, hey, they froze my stuff. They thought I got hacked. They thought it was identity theft. I had to get on the bank with someone. They said they were going to take care of it. It looked like they took the money out, but then I didn't have it, and the money was in limbo. And then he had to talk to him the next day, and then I had to talk to someone. He talked to someone, and then he's saying they sent the money. I'm saying that I don't know. You're good, man. I don't want to try to be pushy, but there's no money over here. And he's like, I got to call him. It was a whole thing. It was a whole debacle, as Justin Sanders says. This dude fought tooth and nail to send me this money. They keep calling him. They thought it was fraud. They told him, yeah, we sent the money. I said, hey, I don't got any money. I don't know if someone from PayPal took the money home. I don't know what's going on. It finally got cleared up. And Justin Sanders said to me, I don't need you to tell anybody. I don't need you to say my name. I don't need you to say the amount. I don't want it to look like I'm trying to get any kind of attention. You don't ever need to. He didn't tell me don't, or else I wouldn't. But he said it. You don't have to. You don't need to. I don't need that. It's not about that. He did it off stream. I've had back and forth with Justin Sanders. He's not, he ain't Colonel Sanders, He ain't Colonel Sanders. He ain't the Colonel. He ain't rolling in the Benjamins on the daily, This was significant. Justin Sanders threw down $500 into my PayPal. 500. He had every opportunity to say, you know what? Maybe never mind. PayPal keeps calling me. My stuff's getting frozen. I'm having issues. It seems like the whole universe is against it. Maybe it's a sign. You know what? Something came up. I feel like I could. What if I send you $50? He had every opportunity to say, never mind. And I told him, bro, I feel, you're good, bro. You're good. it's the gesture. You're good, man. And he says, no, I'm able to do this right now. I want to do this right now. And he insisted, and he spoke with employee after employee saying, give that man that money. I won't take it back. I'll burn it. I'll burn it like Pablo Escobar if you try to send it back to me. Give that money to the Grandmaster. And they sent it. Marilena could not believe it. You guys have done the impossible. You have made Marilena a believer. She saw that and she said, and then I saw Justin. Now I'm a believer. $500. Again, it's everything for you to realize this ain't no Colonel Sanders. This is the homie Justin Sanders. Dude don't even like KFC. He's more of a Popeyes guy. And he's throwing down 500 like it's nothing. He's throwing down 500 like it was someone in Roger Jackson's chat section telling him to kill Psycho Stu. He's throwing it down like it's nothing. Ain't no thing. I'll tell you, our refrigerator broke. Our fridge broke. Bunch of food wasted. The garage door, we went through inspection, garage door wouldn't open. It was one thing after another, and people like this, I wouldn't have been able to touch those things. I would have no options. I wouldn't have been able to keep food cold. We finally had someone that made an offer, and we accepted, and we just started going through escrow, which is going to be about a month. I wouldn't have had nothing to put food in for a month. And we can't be eating out like that. We ain't Colonel Sanders either. But because of people like this and the garage door, things that they're like, hey, this got to get addressed. We had answers now. And it's not like it messed up and then I said, please, people, my fridge. No, this was proactive. No one even knew about that stuff. Some of it hadn't even happened yet. You guys are like these angels. You guys are like these Padillas out here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I say it all the time. You get sick of it. I could go on. I could make this whole stream about saying thank you. I appreciate it. You guys literally come in and make things possible that I would have had no answers for. No answers. I would have had nowhere to go. Thank you very much. Thank you for fighting those people at PayPal. Justin Sanders. Fighting that good fight. And now, if I ever make it on YouTube, I'm going to remember these people. And I keep saying that. And you guys can hold me accountable for that. Brother! Are you kidding me, bro? Justin Sanders, he is the Colonel. He is the Colonel. Justin Sanders just threw down another 100. He gave $1,000. He just gave $50. $50. Another fat donation. Justin Sanders just gave $10,000. Bro, you don't have to do none of that, bro. You don't have to do none of that, bro. Justin Sanders. You know what, Justin Sanders? This kind of makes up for it. I don't know if like, 7 times removed. I don't know if you're related to Colonel Sanders. I don't know that. But the last 2 times I went to KFC, I was so disappointed and frustrated. The last time I went to KFC, and I specifically asked for these things, they forgot to give me my honey and my butter for my biscuits. They also forgot to give me my side order of macaroni. The time before that, they forgot one of my chicken littles, and they forgot my large order of fries. And both times, the lady was so rude. So rude. And I'll tell you, I used to work a drive-through window. I used to get tips. I know what you're thinking. People in drive-through windows don't get tips. I know. That's why it's so significant. People used to tip me because of how nice I was and how friendly I was, and because I cared about customer service. I'd have people be like, bro, I don't even know if this is a thing. Can I give you like $5? You've been so cool. I'm like, you don't have to do that. And then no, I'm okay. I know what kind of people you deal with at a drive-through window. They're rude. They're annoying. They're high. They think you're the scum of the earth. They talk down to you. So because I've worked at drive-through window, I know how to talk to people at the drive-through window. I'm the kindest, most considerate, patient, friendly. Oh my gosh, I'm their best friend. And not in an annoying, too talkative way either. I know how to present at it. Not like that. I know how to act. I know how to act right at the drive-through window. And it just no reciprocation whatsoever. I might as well be the drunk dude at 2 a.m. They treat me like garbage. I don't know what's going on at KFC lately. But Justin, Mr. Sanders, you just made up for it. Thank you very much. And I'm not one of those annoying people that sits in the drive-thru at the window and holds everyone up behind me, checking through the whole bag to make sure everything's in there. Charlie! I take the gamble. I get it. Because I refuse to be that person. When I'm at the drive-thru, I don't even have the bag in the window. I barely grabbed it and I'm already moving forward. Sometimes I'm too considerate for my own good because I know how annoying it is when I'm the person behind the car. I grab the bag, I'm already moving forward. I still had it in drive. I'm already letting it just coast forward. That's how I get down. If you're ever behind me in the drive-thru, you're welcome. Thank you very much, Justin. You just made up for it. Big time. Big time. Unbelievable. Thank you, Justin. Tarinto, Ben called me and told me to share this message. Hey, Tarinto, I wouldn't be surprised if they came after you, Tarinto. Tarinto is consistently generous in here. Here we go. My case, exactly. My point, exactly. Tarinto Rufles. Is Marilena part of the dojo yet, Grandmaster? You mean like in here? Watch. You know what? She said something. What the heck did she say? She said something like a week ago that I was like, I don't think there's any way she would have known that unless she was watching one of my streams. We have a gentleman's agreement. She knows I don't like her to watch my content. I don't know if I've ever told you about that. We have like this unspoken that has also been spoken about quite a bit thing where we have an understanding. I prefer for her not to watch my content. I think it's kind of weird. It makes me uncomfortable. But there's been a couple times she says something where I'm like, how does she know that? So I think every once in a while she does a pop in, you know? Tarinto, a big shout out to all the pillars of the GM dojo. Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you, Tarinto, and thank you for bringing that up. It is, you know what? The last few days being in not the Mexican martial arts, but the mixed martial arts community, it hasn't been fun, man. It's made my stomach hurt a little bit. There's a lot of immature, short-sighted, just petty, fickle. There's and maybe that's in every community. Maybe it's in every community. I don't know, but Maybe I just got so used to our little concentrated environment here or something like that. Because you know what it might be? I think I know what it is, actually. I always tell you guys, I rarely watch MMA content. I rarely watch other MMA creators. I spend too much time in that world. When I'm done here, I'm watching the Y-Files, homie. Bro, there was a video that just came out. If you guys haven't seen it, it's like my favorite video on YouTube. It was the Y-Files dude and what's the other dude's name? The Y-Files did a collab with someone. He did an interview. The Sean Ryan Show. The Y-Files guy's name is AJ Gentile. The Sean Ryan Show, episode 229. The Y-Files dude, AJ Gentile, he came on and they talked for 3 hours and 49 minutes. That's like my favorite video on YouTube. It was amazing. I could listen to that guy for days. But I don't watch a lot of MMA related content. It's just the people in the community annoy me, man. They're just so annoying and immature. And I've spent a lot of time on different creators' videos the last couple days and reading a lot of comment sections, seeing a lot of chat, and people are they're just so angry, and just the bickering and the hating, and it's exhausting. And I've had like a stomach ache the last couple days. It just feels gross. But it's probably because I've been watching the MMA channels. Why did I bring that up? Oh, because you're talking about this community. So I've been spoiled. I've been spoiled by this community. And when I go look at the other MMA channels, it's like, oh man, these ecosystems are they're gross. As I was describing the other communities out there and just the atmosphere out there and how much confrontation and aggressiveness and arguments and so on and so on are out there, I have someone send me a donation to the PayPal. And I want to read you the message they sent. He says, worked OT, overtime. For those of you who have never had a job. Worked OT last week. I can't even, to have this kind of mindset is, wow. I got all my homies with me. He said worked OT last week. Now I know why. It's not always for me. This time it was for you. Cause I got all my homies with me. He gave $200. We are family. Cause I got all my worked OT last week. Now I know why. It's not always for me. This time it was for you. $200. In case you don't know, I mean, it's the MO. It's the modus operandi of one of our... It was Unbelievable. It was ARJR721. We are family. Again, I just worked a job that I had to... And I'm not... I understand I'm preaching to the choir here. I understand that I'm speaking to people who do the exact same thing. So please don't misunderstand me. I'm trying to relate here, not talk about me. I'm trying to, like, because I get this is a way that we could connect on, you know, real life. I know what it's like because I did it recently. To wake up early, commute I live about, depending on the traffic, 45 minutes to an hour to where I would go work. Work overtime like every day. It was a commission-based job. You got to maximize every second. Managers hate you, talk down to you, disrespect you, act like you're an idiot. The sale, I don't know if you've ever worked in commission-based jobs, especially like car sales. Your managers will talk to you like how Rampage talks to his son. like that. Just belittling you. And you could quit. But then where are you going to go? That's how all car dealerships are. I worked at 3 different ones. And you get to know other people from other ones real quick, and they're all like that. That's the culture. Getting up early, commuting, working a job where people disrespect you, you hate your job, it doesn't go right, coworkers are annoying, commute all the way back, day doesn't go how you want, so on and etc. And then to take that hard-earned money that you earned and just be like, oh, now I know why I made this money. It's to bless you. To go through, and I don't know, maybe ARJR721 seems like he's really good and comfortable at his job. I don't know if you guys seen the monos that he makes and stuff like that. So maybe he doesn't hate it. Maybe it's cool. But I'm saying to work hard and do overtime and stay there longer and have the kind of mindset where you go, oh, it makes sense now. Here you go. It was to bless you. What? That is such a rarity. That's not typical. Thank you, bro. You are a blessing. You are a guardian angel to the Mexican martial arts. And I keep thinking of ways to I have all this stress all the time because I'm constantly in the mindset of how do I make it make sense to you guys? How do I make it worth it for you guys? And I'll post a breakdown just like I posted the breakdown of Dudu Plessis and Chamoyev, and it's like, yeah, I don't know if this is gonna work. Cause for a breakdown, I know that video got way more views than these videos get, but for a breakdown, it's not enough. Not enough for me to keep doing it. Not as much time and work goes into it. Because I'll ruin my life again. So it freaked me out when that happened. It was like, well, then what the heck am I going to do? And I had a bunch of people show up that were like, oh, now I'll be here. Now I'll come watch your videos now that it's not alive. And I'm like, bro, that's all that I could do. What am I supposed to do? That's why I freaked out the other day and why I got so mad and posted that thing that I posted. People act like it's a no-brainer, like it's so easy. I can't do it. I wish I had 4 of me. I wish I could upload a breakdown every day. And it continues to, like, it messes with me. I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes I feel like Raja. That thought crossed my beanie earlier today. When I read some of the comments, I'm like, I get it. I feel like I'm losing my beanie sometimes. Because people will act like it's so, like, come on, bro. It's so easy. All you got to do is this. I'm like, if only you knew what goes into that and how long it takes. Why don't you try it, bro? And then all around me are channels that do the least. And it's like, why could they get away with it? How come people don't tell them anything? They don't make videos like my breakdowns. Nobody does. But how come they don't get held to that standard? I put myself in a corner. I shot myself in the chancla. You know what it's like? It's like Tenacious D. I wrote the best song in the world, but then I forgot it. That's my... That's my whole YouTube career in a nutshell. I wrote the best song in the world and I forgot it. So, so now it's like I could never get back up to that bar. And that's always gonna be the bar that's held against me. It's like, bro, I can't remember the song. This is a tribute, yeah, to the greatest song in the world. All right. That's my YouTube career in a nutshell. Tarinto GM WWE has been streaming Attitude Era. Check it out. What? That's cool, bro. That's what I'm going to fall asleep to tonight. Marilena's been annoyed because for the past couple weeks, I've been falling asleep with AirPods in my ears. And she's like, bro, you need to knock it off. I've been having some funky dreams because of that too. Last night, what did I fall asleep to? I fell asleep to something weird. I can't remember. Thank you for telling me, Tarinto. ARJR721 has sent, as if you haven't already done enough, bro. Unbelievable. Benjamin Freeman, Cars and Drama, CT White, JK, Crimson Khan, OG Demo, OG. You know what? There's nothing. It's a real name. It's a real name. I ain't going to be afraid to say your name. OG Dick Richards. Dick Tracy was one of my favorite movies. I felt like you were playing with me because the last name Richards, which you probably are. And that's what threw me off. James Bishop. David. And Eager Boxer, congratulations. Scope the membership tab up there on my YouTube homepage when you have a moment, so you could get all that behind the scenes content reserved for members only. You have full complete access to that now because of ARJR721. It's the official dark web of the Mexican martial arts. We officially have 847 members. 847 members. Ooh! Oh my gosh. Thank you, ARJR. Dominic Sanchez, you're so right about the chat being culpable, but the difference is with the French streamer, there's no argument. Donors didn't know what violence would follow. You're right. You're right. See, here's the thing, and I'll get into it right now. Here's the thing. There's no way that anyone could have known how far Roger would take it. Because here's something people need to remember, and I don't think anyone's denying this. It was a work. So people getting mad at Chael Sonnen, how could he say it was a work? And they're waiting for him to wake up and say it was a work. That's undisputable. That's on camera. Even Psycho Stu knew it was a work. And again, I'll get into the details right now. I'm not justifying anything Roger did. But no one could have known that he would take it far beyond the limitations of what should fall within a work. With this thing, with John Provolone, the French streamer, yeah, that was the expectations were a lot clearer and harder to find loopholes for. That was a lot more blatant and obvious. So I agree. I agree. Angel Padilla, we appreciate you, GM. The dojo gives us peace. Yeah, you know what? I was trying to make a video earlier today, a regular video to upload. I did 4 takes, and everyone ended up being about 30 minutes long. I did 4 takes, and I scrapped them all. And it was about this Chael Sonnen controversial perspective. And something about it felt weird. Something about it felt like I felt like my words would be twisted or misunderstood. And I felt like I'm gonna address it live because I feel like our community will be there and they'll get it, and there will be a back and forth which, context could be bounced off of. And it's like, yeah, the community gives me peace and it gives me confidence because I have faith in the people here. Grando HVS, please. What's the new merch site again, GM? I want to tell you, I got all my homies with me. I want to tell you, thank you for bringing that up, Grendel. I was mentioning it last night in the members only stream a little bit. There are a few things that I've had on my plate that needed to address that are in regard to the channel that I think is important, things I think the channel needs, things will make it better, merch stuff, formatting stuff, different things. And every time I think about addressing those things, I'm like, I can't right now. I can't. I got to focus on the content. I got to figure out what I'm going to stream about. I got to figure out what I can make a video about. And I just get so sidetracked with, I got to make content. Because then my brain is like, what does merch matter if I don't even have content? Who's going to want to buy merch if I don't have content? And I need to figure out how to compartmentalize these things better and get better organized. So I still haven't even finished the new merch site. It's still super bare bones. But there are a few items on here. I just posted it right now. There are a few items on there. One of them, the quantity over quality shirt, which is right here. That one to express our quantity over quality era that we currently find ourselves in right now. That is, I believe, the only thing that exists on the new website that's not on the Teespring one. So if you specifically want this shirt, it's there. Also, I've never ever had a problem with Teespring as far as the quality itself. Never anything to be desired as far as I was confirmed. But the moment I got this one, I was like, bro, they feel like thicker. They feel more durable. And I'm very confident in the quality. So, thank you for asking. ARGR721, 8-hour work day, GM, 6. 8-hour work day, GM, 6 on editing, 2 on live, doable. I was thinking about something like that, where if I structure it like that, because again, that was one of the things that I appreciated. I'm just trying to make the best out of everything. That detour that I took in life with selling cars. I remember when I was selling cars, I used to think if I could do YouTube again, I would do it so much better and so much smarter, because I had to work with such a structure over there and be so disciplined. I thought if I could take that and apply it here, that would change everything, because I wasn't disciplined and organized before. So I feel like if I committed to that, I could probably do at least one breakdown, one edited video a week. And then being able to stream still. That sounds good to me. Luke Handel. Hey, thank you, bro. This is a self-inflicted membership. That means something. Thank you, bro. Please don't forget to scope the membership tab. There's stuff in there that the Gen Pop does not have access to. We got a bunch of emojis and stuff in here that you can see when you click on that little chat emoji that's specifically for members. With the chanclas and the corn and whatnot. We save you a piece of that corn, Lucando. Thank you. Welcome to the family. Most Davis Dave, at least make the breakdowns of main event fights or the big hype fights that everyone wants to see. We get our breakdowns and the big names entitled that How Spread MMA to the World. Love the edits too. Thank you, Most Davis Dave. Thank you, bro. Hold on, let me fix this. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Most Davis Dave. I definitely am looking forward to making predictions before the fight. I got a little bit traumatized, to be honest with you. And maybe it's because we're selling our house and there's a lot of things Marilena needs help with right now. Every kid's in like 4 different sports. We're selling the house, constantly having people coming over to clean and inspect. No, we're having to clean because people are coming to look at the house to see if they wanted to buy it and inspect and appraisals and agents. And I was trying to edit and then I have to take one to physical therapy and then this. And I'm like, so after the fact, it's hard because people forget about people got a short attention span. I did my breakdown of the Chamoye fight like 6 days later. By the time a billion videos already came out about it. So hopefully the next one, if we're not living in such a hectic state, I could do it faster, or I need to make it way shorter or something. But for sure, predictions. And then hopefully the after the fact ones I could get better at in the future. But yeah, I agree. Thank you, bro. And I want to clear something up. I said something the other day that a lot of people didn't know how to take. I made a comment about one of the videos that I got on my breakdowns. About one of the comments that I got on my breakdown. Somebody, I think I already addressed this. I'll just say it super quick. Someone left a comment that said something along the lines of, hey, finally you're making these kind of videos again. This is what I've been waiting for. I'm back now or something. I did not appreciate that comment. And some people got upset at me for not appreciating it. Here's my perspective on that. This is just the way I operate. If I had a YouTuber that I liked and they stopped making the kind of content that I loved for a while and then finally they did it again, I would either not say anything or I would say something positive about what they finally made. What bothers me, and I'm only human, and I'm a creator with artistic mental tendencies. So when someone leaves a comment that says something along the gist of it, the spirit behind it is, hey man, I really don't like everything else you're making, but I'll be back again since you finally made this again. I've been waiting for this, so now I'm back. To me, I would never write something like that on someone's channel. I would either not say anything or just talk about the positive. Not some roundabout way of letting me know, or of letting them know, by the way, this other stuff, it's too long. It's not for me. I don't get it. It's not funny. But as long as you make this, I'll stick around. When I hear that as a temperamental artist, I say, kick rocks, fool. Because when I have people, even if it's just 4 of them, that are like, I'm basically your cousin. I'm here no matter what. Once you experience that, everything else is like, I don't need you, bro. And I even told a couple people, I wish I could block you from even being able to see my breakdowns, because I don't want you to enjoy them if you're not down with me. Like, I don't need you just coming along and window shopping and acting like like you're doing me a favor. And maybe that seems a little forward, but I don't know if anyone could truly understand that unless they do this stupid kind of thing that I do for a living. Because the stakes are so high, you're basically gambling with your life and your livelihood and your family and your bills every single day. And then you still have to have, and I know I signed up for it, but when you're living such a high stakes, every day's a gamble lifestyle, and you don't know what one day's going to look like from next to next, and you still got people showing up being like, yeah, I'm not, I don't care about this and that, and I don't like that, and why are you doing that, and that's dumb, but as long as you do this now, then it's like, bro, all you're going to do is mess up my algorithm. I don't need you in the first place. And again, we are family. I think what made me feel that way is the crazy love and support I got from the core people here. That made me realize it's like when you get married and you're like, you get a fresh cut or something. You get some new sneakers and some girls are looking at you. You're like, chale, I'm good. I don't need, you're going to look at me because I got a fresh cut? What you going to do when it grows out in a couple weeks? I don't need that. I don't need the superficialities. I'm good. I'm in this loving, monotonous relationship, just like this, just like a couple penguins. I don't need that. I don't need you coming around gazing every once in a while because I finally talked about Israel Adesanya, because I finally threw down a bunch of edits. Chale. If you ain't here when I got my long shaggy hair and my 5 o'clock shadow, I don't need you. And some people didn't like that. They got offended by that. But I went full Raja. It freaked me out a little bit. It upset me. I'm only human. I don't even remember what point I was trying to make. Why did I start talking about that? Tarinto, Chael is right though. Psycho Stu has to talk for any real consequences to actually happen. It's all depending on him. He could have settled for jail, for money or jail, Raja. Okay, so I don't totally disagree with Chael. And the whole reason I wanted to make a video and I was trying to make one earlier and I made this stream now is partly, I don't know if the right way to word it is to defend Chael, but the feedback that he got was sickening. It was lazy, and it was a bunch of people with pitchforks because all the other MMA creators are pandering to them. I'm not saying I agreed with everything Chael said, but I'm going to touch on that right now. Thank you for bringing that up, Tarinto. I agree. Tarinto, Rampage said psycho good and stable when he was in a coma. He's like, he chilling. He take a little nap. ARJR721, a lot of videos came out fast, but yours was the best and worth the wait. First isn't always best. Where are the MMA tank tops? I want one. I always bring that up with people. I'm not going to get into it. I promise I'm not going to get into it. I know people get freaked out. When I take out the Bible. But it's like I always tell people when they try to talk about other religions, Christianity wasn't even the first religion. And I'm like, bro, when has the first thing ever been the best? That means nothing. That means nothing. You think the first French fry ever made, you don't think they built upon it and perfected it? So I agree. Thank you, AR. JR. Thank you, bro. People tell me all the time, bro, just do a quick one for the algorithm. No edits. Just get on there and talk to the camera like Chael Sonnen. And I'm like, you already know. Like I said, it's the greatest song in the world. This is just a tribute. I can't live up to... I don't like making lazy videos. I don't know what to say. ARJR, when you say a MMA tank top, are you talking about one with the actual MMA logo? I'm sure you are. But is that what you're talking about? I want to make sure I get everything appropriate up. Just a regular black one like this with this logo, just a black Disco Golf Hutch. Disco Golf Hutch already had a membership. I want you to understand that. Disco Golf Hutch already had a membership. And if I need to remind you, all of my memberships are the same. You could pay 99 cents all the way up and you get the exact same stuff. And Disco Golf Hutch just upgraded anyway just to support more. Now there's a possibility that Disco Golf Hutch didn't know that all the tiers are the same until I said that, and now he's going to go, oh snap, and take it back down to 99 cents. I don't know. That's a possibility. But it looks like he's just a generous individual. Thank you very much for doing that, Disco Golf Hutch. You already know what's up there. You already been there. You're just supporting more now. And I got to support you more now. Now I got to be slapping some more stuff down in there. Some more members-only streams. Some more music videos. So look, let me see if ARJR says something. Did you respond to the tank top yet? You're just talking about a classic, just colored black with the classic MMA logo, right? I'm sure that's what you're talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Hey. Comes that chill mayo. That's what I'm talking about. I need to make some of them little sody waters. I need to make a whole series, huh? Do it with like Dr. Pepper. Do it with Diet Pepsi. Do it with root beer. Tarito Rufles Bible was a bestseller. And they made a New Testament. Oh, bro. And then they made no, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to start a war. I'm not going to start a war. ARJR721. Black with the MMA logo like UFC. But better. All right, ARJR721. I got you. It's in the works. I got you. I will keep you updated. So look. Let me get to my point here. 56 minutes into the stream. Let me get to the point here. First of all, did you guys watch Chael Sonnen's video? He made 2 videos about Roger Jackson. 2 of them. What was that sound? He made 2 videos, and I think most people would probably say it sounded like he was, I don't know if the best way to put it is defending Roger. But he was definitely spearheading the thought that it's all good, it's most likely a work, and Psycho Stu's going to wake up and tell us this much. Eliezer Hernandez, found you in 2020 when I got into MMA. Love your stuff. Thank you, bro. Eliezer, I understand that it's been a roller coaster and we've gone through so many changes and devolutions. And I say it all the time. I'd like to not only get back to, but even build upon and do better than what would be considered our glory days here on the channel. But I know it's changed since then. I know there was a time I was hitting it pretty hard with the breakdowns and whatnot. And I appreciate you still being here in this bare bones quantity over quality era. And I've been going back and forth with a couple people in the comment sections, and they ain't down with it. If I'm not making highly produced, super edited videos, they're out. But for you to still be here rocking with me, that means everything to me, bro. Anybody that's here right now, even if you're lurking, even if you're watching signed out, you don't have an account, you're watching in the public library, you know, maybe you never said any, I don't know. If you've been with me from an older era when I was making more breakdowns, killing it with the shorts, getting millions of views, doing all that before I got blacklisted, and you're still here, I want you to know that means everything. I don't care if you've never donated 25 cents. Just the fact that you're giving me your time and your eyeballs, that means everything. Because there's people that jump ship with the quickness. If I'm not making prediction after breakdown, after edit, after they're out. They're out. They were never real to begin with. They were like those Costco shoppers. They just roll up on Costco for lunchtime and just take all the free samples and then they dip. There's a lot of viewers like that. I appreciate those of you who've been rocking with me even in these low budget times. It means everything. And I'm going to turn it back around for you. Everything that I'm doing is with you people in mind that have been with me. Like, I don't want to let them down. I don't want it to have all been in vain for no reason. So I appreciate you. So look, Angel Padilla, been with you since you had a bad mic. A bad mic, yeah. Angel Padilla, I appreciate you. Thank you, bro. You guys are huge around these parts. I appreciate you. Okay, look. Let me say this right now. I want to start off with this. I have no justification for Roger Jackson. None. I'm not, anything that I say, even if it seems like it, is not justifying anything that he did. And I do believe he should be held accountable. So I know for some people, nothing I say matters unless they know that first. They have to reverse engineer things to be like, wait a minute, I don't want him. I want to make sure he doesn't make a point, and I accidentally agree with it. I want to make sure I know his final before I start, getting on this train. I don't think he's justified, and I think he should have a consequence. Tarito, Shorts gave you 5,000% more views and nothing changed. I know, bro. I know. Yup, you're right. The only thing the Shorts did for me, though, because I could repurpose them, I could put them on Instagram. I had the most likes, comments, follows, feedback ever from celebrities and UFC fighters and MMA fighters from other promotions, always on Instagram. So it's like if I'm going to do it, then that's the place to do it, I guess. But yeah, I used to get millions of views with the Shorts, and I was still going broke and living off of credit cards. So yeah, it didn't matter. So I made a stream the other day, and some people got frustrated and they didn't know where I was going with it. I'll just say this real quick because I don't want to focus on that too long. I don't know if there's anything I said in that video that I don't stand by. Of course, I approached it from a different angle, from a little bit of a contrarian angle. When I made that video, to start with, my whole thing was, what the heck hasn't everyone said a billion times already? What can I contribute to the situation? What I didn't hear anybody talking about was the fact that you have human beings. They're not fake. They're not bots. They're not NPCs. You had human beings with their phones encouraging and paying someone money to do what he did. And my thing was, how come no one's talking about that? Especially since earlier that week, another Kick streamer died because people were chatting and supporting and donating money. Literally, and this ain't a joke,
Thanks
you can
for
look
the
it up.
sub.
Literally to torture the guy. That was their whole shtick. Thank you for the sub. So I was like, this is becoming quite an epidermis. Kick is like just watching people die. The chat is encouraging. It's like the gladiator days. They're encouraging it and they're paying for it. We already know this is 2025. Cyberbullying's a thing. There's legal precedents for it. There's case law on it. People are literally getting locked up for committing these kind of crimes, whether it's considered bullying, peer pressure, whatever, by doing stuff like that online. Especially, I didn't know at first this incident happened in California. Especially in California, like the softest, most ridiculous place you could live. You could live in California and defend yourself and your loved ones and your property and go to prison. It's stupid. But there's so much case law and legal precedence for being held accountable for doing things online. So my whole thing with that video was, hey, wait. Was Roger guilty? Did he do stupid stuff? Yes. But how come no one's talking about his accomplices? Because if they were there in person sitting next to him, egging him on, those are accomplices. Why aren't we counting it when they're online? Well, because it's online. No. You sound dumb. There's case law. People get arrested for that all the time. You don't always see Access Hollywood and stuff like that. All these different documentaries where these high school kids egged someone on through text and online and DMs and stuff to kill someone. They get arrested too. So I was like exploring a different angle, and I'm not rolling that back now. I still stand by that. It's crazy that no one cares about that. Those people are going to go on to live another day and egg someone else to kill someone else. That's crazy, I think. Most Davis Dave, been with you since I mistook you for that vato that used to do the workout videos. I used to get so annoyed by that because I started making videos before that dude, but he went viral and everyone was like, hey, you're just copying Cholo Fit. And I was like, I did it first. When you were doing the MMA tutorials, the originals. Oh, are you talking about, I don't know if you're talking about Cholo Fit or that other thing where those dudes were biters, man. I think you're talking about Cholo Fit though, because you're saying workouts. But man, those other dudes, I don't even know if they're still doing it. Oh my gosh. Anyway. Thank you, bro. Thank you. That's what I want to get back to. Most Dave is Dave. You probably saw that thing I did like a couple years ago now with Flaco, where we did like we were trying to make like a concept video, like to make a movie at some point. I don't know if you saw that, but that was one of the funnest times of my life, bro. I want to do stuff with Flaco again. Thank you, bro. Thank you for rocking with me. That was a while ago. Flaco was still in the picture. So that was my last video. I saw there was a bunch of fallout in regard to Chael and his take on this video. And I was very frustrated and very annoyed. Now, I'm sure it's not like there's 1,000 people here right now. Usually with these kind of numbers, these are the kind of people that are here consistently. And you already know, I am not a Chael Sonnen fanboy. We don't typically see eye to eye unless you can count him and Daniel Comer consistently stealing my intellectual property. Maybe I don't see to their eye, but they see to my eye. I don't know. But I'm not a Chael Sonnen fanboy. Yet still, I felt like I got to say something about this. I got to kind of speak on his behalf because I don't like what I'm seeing. Come on, I messaged the biters the most hateful stuff. Oh, you know what I'm talking about, bro. You're the best, bro. You're the best, bro. Thank you. So, if you haven't, thank you for the subscription. If you haven't seen Chael's video, I'll bring you up to speed. And if you have, bear with me. I'll make it real short. He basically said, hey, guys, he hasn't been arrested yet for a reason. This whole thing was a work. They're most likely waiting for Psycho Stu to wake up and tell the cops, yeah, it's all good. It was a work. Don't trip. He also made some statement that it didn't look like Roger was really out of it and lost control until like the second or third punch. That he was kind of doing his kayfabe thing. And then at a certain point, maybe all the stuff in his head from the chat and his dad and everything got in his head. And then he kind of lost it, which doesn't matter. If he did it, he did it. And people got furious about that. They were like, how could this be a work? How could this be kayfabe? How could you think Psycho Stu's going to wake up and possibly say that he was okay with this? What are you talking about? He didn't look like he had anything together. He looked like he freaked out the whole time. Then he made a second video and he doubled down on it. And he said, if you watch Scarface, are you going to try to arrest Tony Montana? No, bro. He's an actor. It's kayfabe. And people got more mad. And everyone just turned on him. And if you don't know, Chael Sonnen knows a great deal about professional wrestling. I feel like he might as well have been one. He seems to absolutely love wrestling and know a lot about it. I think he could have been as successful or even way more successful as a professional wrestler because of his persona, charisma, the way he cuts promos. He knows and loves wrestling. And here was my feeling. He said a couple things in his video that I totally agreed with. And again, I'm not a Chael Sonnen fanboy. Most of the time, I can't stand that fool. He's always biting on my stuff. And I'm always frustrated and making videos about how he's ripping off my content. But it's not that I'm coming to his aid or his assistance, because he doesn't even need that. I'm coming to the assistance of objectivity. You know this channel is all about being an MMA truther. It's about nuance and respecting context and perspective. And I think a lot of people right now with their pitchforks just want something to be mad about. I think the people that are just crying, burn the dude, kill him, it's over, they're the same dudes that are mad about Sydney's weenie and those Levi commercials. People just wake up and they're like, they wake up and go straight to Office Depot to buy some poster board. They just want to riot about anything and everything. And maybe there's something we should be mad about. Maybe, yes, he did do something awful and we should be mad. Yes, but that doesn't mean to throw all context and perspective out the window. Chael said something like, you can't decide when the work starts and ends just because of how you feel. And I like that. It reminds me of the statement, facts don't care about your feelings. You can't make something be right. You can't make something be true or false just because of how mad you are. And I've had this conversation with Marilena before when we get into a disagreement or whatever. And I'll tell her, hey, by the way, A-Fool, do you know that no matter how loud you get, that doesn't make you right? And she hates that. And I'll tell her, it's true. You being madder and getting louder, that doesn't make you more correct. That's not how truth works. Something's either true or it's not. You can't start elevating your volume and then try to beat the person's argument into the ground. It's true or it's not. It doesn't matter if all these other MMA creators are pandering to you. I saw the Weasel's video. I was reminded of why that dude's called the Weasel. It was the most disgusting pandering I've seen. These MMA creators know exactly what the viewers want to hear. And they're doing it. They're giving it to them. And they're patting themselves on the back. You know how easy it would be for me to make a whole content's worth of videos saying how disgusting and evil and demonic Raja was, and he should burn and we should hang him, and people would love that, bro. I would be trending. That's exactly what they want to hear. And I'm not saying that he's not wrong and he shouldn't have consequences. But some of the things that's being padded with is just wrong. And the manner in which they're doing it is just wrong. And the Weasel even said at the end, he made a comment. He's like, Chael Sonnen and Rob Van Dam and Mark Henry. Mark Henry's take was a little bit wild. But he's like, I don't even know what these guys are talking about. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I don't care. And I'm not going to look into it. Well, duh, fool. That's why you're saying such stupid stuff. Because you didn't do your due diligence. You didn't have chanclas on the ground. You're telling me you don't care to hear what the opposition says? How do you know something's right without being able to determine that the other thing is wrong? That was one of the dumbest things you could have possibly said. There's somebody that you disagree with, and you're refusing to listen to what their argument even is. How in the world can you know how correct yours is then? You know good, you know evil because of good, and you know good because of evil. You're able to bounce these things off of each other. One sheds light on the other. Jay Smith. Hey, bro, I feel like I haven't seen you in here in a little bit. It's good to see you, bro. 15 months. Thank you, bro. D-Catters, watch the other stream, bro. I can't. How are you going to show up in this stream and ask me what that meant? Did you not watch the other video? You're asking me about another video that you could literally sit there and watch and find out. I can't stand it when someone leaves a comment. They're like, I don't got time for a 3-hour video. And I'm like, I probably don't either. Good for you. Why do you got to leave me a comment about it? Just don't watch it then. So what was the last? So I don't want to get scattered. I want to leave I want this to be as clear as I can, because I don't want to be misunderstood. Let me formulate my thoughts here. And again, for anybody just popping in, nothing that I'm about to say in any way justifies what Roger Jackson did. He was absolutely wrong, and I do believe he should have consequences. Boom. That's important to lay the foundation. So in a way, I'm not here to defend Roger Jackson. I'm here to defend Chael, I guess, a little bit. And again, I don't like him. But I didn't like the way the community was acting toward him, because It was, I don't know, disingenuous, ill-informed, immature. Jay Smith, I'm in ER, broken T11 disc slip and fall Friday. Oh, bro. T11, isn't that the Terminator? Oh, I'm in the ER, bro. How long do you still have to be there, bro? I mean, at least you got a good, you got some funky, good, entertaining type of MMA content going on in the MMA world right now that'll keep you busy while you're laid up. I'm so sorry to hear that, bro. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're good in good enough spirits to be here with us. T11 disc slip. I'm sorry to hear that, bro. Please keep us updated. I hope you're out soon. Please let us know how it goes. Take care of yourself in there, bro. I'm gonna dig into my point right after this. I want to say thank you all. Costco corn dogs. $100 weenies for them Costco weenies. And corn dogs. I love corn dogs, bro. When they have that good, like State Fair type of breading. Bro. Wilson Mitchell just threw 100 big ones into the PayPal. Wilson Mitchell just threw 100 big ones into the PayPal. Somehow Wilson Mitchell knew that I finished off the last hot dogs in the house today. In our new little tiny baby mini fridge. It's sustenance. It's just sustenance. Now I'm gonna get some more of them wieners. Thank you, Wilson Mitchell. Thank you, bro. Wilson Mitchell, the legend. The legend. I'm going to be like Kobayashi because of Wilson Mitchell. He's making it possible. Thank you, bro. Jeez. I like to broil those suckers. Hey, do you guys put... Oh, no, those are corn dogs. My whole life, I grew up in an area where you didn't see anyone but Mexicans. I grew up in an area where you didn't see, like, if you saw a white person, like, every once in a while there'd be like a white teacher. Maybe like, there was a Chinese couple that owned the restaurant, but other than that, nothing but Mexicans. And why the heck did I start talking about this? Why the heck did I start talking about this? Why was I talking about Caucasian people? Does anybody know why I started talking about? Bro, that's going to drive me crazy. I think it was going to be something about food. Oh! My whole life, I put ketchup on corn dogs. And then when I was basically an adult, I was around these white people and they were putting mustard on their corn dogs. I was like, what the? You ran out of... Are you colorblind or what? And they're like, what you talking about? And I was asking for the ketchup and they're like, we didn't even bring ketchup. I was like, you didn't bring ketchup. That's like bringing French fries and you didn't bring no salt. What do you mean? You brought corn dogs and no ketchup? They're like, who puts ketchup on corn dogs? I was like, me. They're like, you don't put ketchup on corn dogs. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I realized, I don't know if that's like a Caucasian thing, that you just put mustard on corn dogs. I don't know. But I'm going to make a Costco trip and I'm going to get some wieners and some ketchup. All because of Wilson Mitchell. Yama Bahama. Raza Jackson was tripping. He was. He absolutely was. Hear no gringo, see no gringo, speak no gringo. Okay, look. Come on, is this the biggest story? Is this the biggest story since Christy Mack? Wait, who's Christy Mack? Mustard only on hot dogs, man. I don't understand it, bro. Ooh. Brother, ooh. Brother, ooh. Wait, why are you making me look up this, bro? Why are you making me look this up, bro? What are you doing to me, bro? You know Marilena goes through my history. What are you doing to me, bro? Hey, the other day, I was in the car with my kids. We needed to get Jesse Jr. something for soccer. And Marilena handed him my phone. And she told him to look up. I'm going to say it because it's the actual name, okay? We needed to find something for soccer for Jesse Jr. And Marilena handed him the phone while I was driving, and she told him to look up dicks. And now my son knows all about Conor McGregor. In case you don't know, in case you don't live in the area that I live, because honestly, I don't know how big of a franchise it is. There's a store called Dick's Sporting Goods. And Marilena handed him the phone and told him to look up, you know the word. And I almost veered off the road because I don't have my safe search filter on. And I shouted to my other child to rip the phone away from his hands. And fortunately, nobody saw anything that they didn't need to. I and my other child had to act swiftly. And fortunately, Jesse Jr. only knows what his own looks like right now. So that was not a fun 20 seconds. Come on, I should have said War Machine beating my beat. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I didn't put that together. You're good, bro. I didn't put that together. Okay, look. Anyway. Chael Sonnen. Okay, people got really mad at Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen basically said, hey, everybody, there's a good chance that this was a work. And that the reason Roger hasn't been arrested is because there's a chance that Psycho Stu might wake up and say, hey, it was all a work. It's good. And people are basically saying, how dare you say that? He clearly tried to kill him. You're an idiot. You're trying to defend him. Because at the very beginning of the video, Chael Sonnen said, I know Roger and I like him. So everything, all credibility went out the window. So let me say this. I don't like Chael Sonnen. I don't like him. And I don't know Roger Jackson. I have no skin in the game. I don't care about either of them. I have no ties to them. I have no relationships to maintain with them. I got no one in my pocket. I got no one to lose. I don't get views anyway. Doesn't matter. So I could speak freely because I fear nothing. It bothered me the way that people came at Chael Sonnen, not because I care about him, but because I care about holding people accountable for how they act. There's been a whole mob mentality thing going on lately. And everyone's just jumping on the bandwagon. And here's what I think. There's just a little part that I think should be at least observed that I haven't heard anybody talk about. Anybody. Number one, I'll tell you when I get to it. Let me preface it first. Number one, everybody knows it was a work. If you're watching this video, you should know by now it was a work because it's on every bit of footage. Roger agreed to it and Psycho Stu. Now, to the extent of it, there's no way anyone could have known how stupid Roger would be. Clearly, Psycho Stu didn't agree to almost being beat to death. But what I think is important to observe, which I haven't heard, and that's always what I want to do here. If there's a topic out there in the MMA community and everyone's already talked about it, I don't really have a desire to talk about it. I don't need that. But there's something I haven't heard anybody else mention, and maybe it doesn't matter, but I think it should at least be mentioned. Number one, Roger was told, you can get in the ring and get your receipt. You can get in there and get physical with him, okay? That was already stupid. This was a perfect storm of stupidity from everybody. The Village People looking dude with the cowboy hat made bad choices. The dude that I think was related to Rikishi, the dude that had like a bath towel around him and he was like naked. He was like an old Samoan dude or something, had long hair. He was making bad decisions. Some other dude kind of out of frame that was shaking his hand and stuff saying, you know, you could do this and that. He was making bad decisions. Everybody there made bad decisions. He should have never been led into the ring. He was led into the ring to get his receipt. Okay. Now, I remember early on in this whole situation, I had a thought and then I kind of forgot about it because so much stuff kept happening. My early thought was, you know what is kind of I don't know if it doesn't change anything, but I was wondering, does Roger Jackson know anything about professional wrestling? Because if he doesn't, that could have had a huge part in the way he acted. And I later saw on his feed, on his chat, on his stream, he says, I don't know anything about wrestling. And I know some people might find that hard to believe, but I have young people in my life who I've tried to expose to wrestling. And believe it or not, I know people that are here watching videos like this right now, we're very combat sports oriented. Even if we don't actively watch something, we know enough. We have a general awareness of power slap fighting, pillow fight championship, people fighting in a phone booth, a literal phone booth, people in China, people fighting in a convertible with seatbelts on and stuff like that. The epic fighting championship out of Russia where a 500-pound dude will fight 3 ladies. And WWE. We have an awareness of these things. We could kind of identify each one. Some people, believe it or not, cannot. Again, I had people in my life when I exposed them to wrestling, they were like, what is this? Why do they look like that? Why do they talk like that? Why do they have these kinds of names? Why do they dress that way? Why do they fight that way? That doesn't even look like fighting. I've never seen fighting like that in my life. How do you win? Wait a minute. He won by doing that? That doesn't look like the end of a fight. It was the most foreign thing that they've ever seen. So that has to be acknowledged and accepted. Just because you know about something doesn't mean someone else does. So my thought was, does he know anything about how this is supposed to look or go? And he said on chat, I don't know nothing about this. I was just here to watch my friend. I wasn't trying to do this. So then he starts. I'm getting ahead here. Here's the next thing to consider. Roger Jackson, and again, I'm not justifying anything he did. He's accountable. He should be held accountable. However, Roger Jackson was like the worst person that could have been in this situation, in this perfect storm. Because, and this is so important, and if you don't think this is important, I don't know what to do with you. If you can't acknowledge the importance of this, go watch the Weasel's video again and validate yourself. I don't know. Roger Jackson not only didn't know anything about professional wrestling, doesn't watch professional wrestling, doesn't have nothing to do with it, doesn't have an idea of how it operates and functions. His dad, Roger Jackson's dad, was a dude who was a professional MMA fighter in Pride. His dad was a professional MMA fighter in a promotion which Rampage himself has admitted had a ton of fixed fights. Now, I don't remember off the top of my beanie, and I should have done the research on this. I don't recall Rampage ever saying he directly himself was ever in one of them. However, Roger has full awareness. Clearly, he is aware of his dad's career, saw the fights, was probably at some of the fights, seen the footage. He knows his culture. He knows where he came from. His dad is a professional MMA fighter that fought in a promotion widely known to have had many fixed fights. Well, according to Roger, he was about to go into a fixed fight. He didn't know nothing about wrestling, but my dad was in a promotion that did fixed fights. What did those fights look like? Combine that with the fact that apparently, and this was new to me, I just found this out today. Apparently, he was told, keep swinging until the ref peels you off. So when you don't know anything about professional wrestling, because why would you? I don't watch it today. It's lame. It's pathetic. It's weird. It's not like in the old days. I wouldn't be caught watching wrestling now. I don't watch wrestling now. I could fully believe someone not watching it and not knowing anything about what it's supposed to look like. So he was invited in there to get his receipt after he just had a can smacked on his head. He was told, you're not faking it. You get in there, get your receipt, because in there, that's a real way to get back. He doesn't know anything about wrestling. His dad was a professional MMA fighter in fights that were predetermined, and they still looked the realest of the real. And that was what Rampage referred to the other day when he was talking about, well, the only chance he has is if this was a hardcore work, where it's predetermined and you basically tell each other, do what you got to do. Just don't kill me. Just do what you got to do. It's got to look real. Now, here's the part where you could get real mad at me. I'm not saying Psycho Stu did that. I don't think Psycho Stu could have ever known that Roger would be that stupid. But here, I mean, could you at least fathom being with me up to this point? Because the people at the promotion got nervous when the can went on his head, whether they were fearing he would be litigious or whatever, they're like, okay, well, let's make it good. You can get in there and smack him around. We're good, right? He's like, fine, as long as I get my lick back, we're fine. Okay, cool. They shouldn't have done that. They should have found some more mature, level-headed way of fixing that than being like, oh, you want to jump in and fight him? So here's all I'm saying up to this point. They made a bad choice by saying, you could get in there and hit him. Okay. Combined with he knows nothing about pro wrestling. Combined with his dad was a pro MMA fighter who was in a promotion that had predetermined fights. And those fights looked so real that people to this day wish that it would come back instead of the UFC because of how good and solid and real those fights look. They could still be real. People still get choked out. People still get knocked out when they're predetermined. So what I started to think was, is it possible that he's so dumb that he's like, I've seen fights like this. This is what my dad did. He was in fixed fights. Well, maybe he wasn't, but he was in a promotion that had fixed fights. These fights were predetermined and they still looked real. People would still get knocked out. I had someone telling me keep swinging till they peel me off. And I thought, is it possible this guy's that dumb that's what allowed him to do something so ridiculous? Now, let me say this. If I was Roger and I went in there and I slammed him, the moment I saw his face unconscious, I stand up and go, ooh, yeah, and I run out of there in my head thinking, oh my gosh, is he okay? Because that's what a normal person would do. This dude starts teeing off on him 20-something times. So again, I have to keep saying, I'm not justifying what he did. I'm not saying he's free. I'm not saying he's okay. He should still be held accountable, because if it was me, and I'm sure most of you, the moment you slammed him and see his eyes unconscious, in your head, you're like, oh no! But then just to save face and not break kayfabe, what you go, yeah, then you run out of there and let, the ref deal with it. But this guy, again, that's why it's the perfect storm. I could understand up to that point. There's a possibility that this guy's so dumb that he didn't know nothing. That he could have just said, you know what, we're good. When the guy slammed the can on his head, he could have thought, I'm a pro fighter. Even though I lost my only pro fight, I'm a pro fighter. I know what I'm capable of. I don't need that. I'm above that. We're good, bro. You're kayfabe. I get it. I'm living a better life than you. I'm good. I don't need that. But he did need it because of insecurities or whatever. So he made that mistake. He didn't have to take him up on that. And honestly, if it were me again, if someone did that to me, I'd be like, bro, I don't got nothing to prove. What you did was dumb. I don't know why you felt like you had to do that, but I don't need to meet you at that level. I'm good. Go have a good life. That was weird. I'm not gonna take that bait and go in there and stretch this out. But Roger did that. And my thought was, is it possible that he's so dumb that, okay, he doesn't know anything about wrestling, and he does know about his dad and his career and how those fights were fixed and how they look real, and people told him, keep hitting till we peel you off. He thought, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. But again, there's no excuse for, once you see the guy out, to keep doing it at the level which he was doing it. You guys already know the way I am when we watch the fight nights, pay-per-views. I hate it. I hate it when someone's out and people keep hammer fisting them. I hate that. I think have some class. Do a walk-off. That looks so much cooler. It doesn't give you any points like the whole super necessary. I hated that. I didn't like that. I think Tapoeira did it to Oliveira too. I'm not positive. But Masvidal did it to Askren. People do it all the time. And I always say that's gross. I don't like it. People are like, oh, you're soft. Well, how do you guys feel now? Do you like it now? I didn't like it either. I don't like it in any case. So I'm not that guy that's like, yeah, Raja's okay. He didn't do anything wrong. I don't ever like that kind of stuff. You shouldn't hit anybody unconscious. That's disgusting. And I feel like most people in that situation would have known better, but he didn't. And look, again, I'm not giving him an excuse, because if Roger would have did that to anyone that we care and love about, we would all say the same thing. Lock him up. So I'm going to maintain that perspective and be objective. However, because like I always say, when you're truly honest with yourself and objective, multiple things can be true at once. Life isn't always black and white. Like Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, Richard Ramirez. Would you say they're probably off, a little bit off? They're not, something went wrong? I'm assuming you'd say yes. Now, does that make any of us say, therefore, they shouldn't have got locked up? No. No, they're a danger to society. They shouldn't be free. So the reason I say that first is because I want to say, and I want to establish first, that even though I think someone has problems, yeah, if they're a danger, they shouldn't be free. Let's say we remove what happened from the situation. Let's remove Psycho Stu. Let's remove the last 3 days. Try your hardest, because I know you're mad at Roger. I am too. But try your best to act like the last 3 days did not happen. Like, honestly, try to do that. Just as an exercise. Try to pretend this never happened. When I watch the footage of Rampage and Roger, I feel so bad for Roger. Do you remember? I've always been fascinated with criminal stuff and law enforcement and documentaries and serial killers. I watch all that stuff. Do you remember how Jeffrey Dahmer always talked like if you could tell he wasn't right? He always had, he was like a little, like Sling Blade kind of style, just a little bit behind. Something was different. I know it's easy to say now because of what's happened, but I would see that in Roger. It always seemed like he was off, or like he got hit in the head a lot or something, or he was sad, or like his dad. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I would laugh like crazy at their dynamic. Rampage makes me laugh like ridiculous. I love the dynamic. But there was always also something kind of sad and distant about that guy. Like, is he thinking about something? Is he just like a super introvert? Is he depressed? Is he not all there? There was always something off about him. And I've been watching so much footage the last couple of days about these dudes and the incident. And I came across this footage of when Rampage came on some show talking about his cars or something like that. And it showed Roger when he was like, I don't know, he could have been like 9-10 years old. And it showed Rampage with his two half Asian kids. And he's like loving them and holding them. And you could just see Roger looking at him like, it was hard to see. He seems like someone that has always been after the affection of his dad. And it hurts me to say this because I love Rampage. But he seemed like someone that was always after the affection of his dad. Wow. To Rampage, Roger was just always the butt of a joke. And again, that's why this was the perfect storm. What happens when someone like Jeffrey Dahmer, when someone like the Columbine kids, when someone like Richard Ramirez, what happens when someone that's not right up here? What happens when that's put in the wrong place at the wrong time? If Jeffrey Dahmer was born like in a different environment or something like that, he might have been in a situation where someone would have checked him early and he would have been donezo. Same thing with Ted Bundy, Richard Ramirez, Rod, whatever the case. But this was like the perfect storm of someone being enabled every step of the way. And again, doesn't justify him. He's still a danger to society. I mentioned this on my member stream last night because I felt like it fit the situation. And I never thought I would mention it. I never thought I would mention it on a public stream. But I think it's important right now. It seems like a lifetime ago. But when I was a lot younger, I was a correctional officer. And there was a time when I worked in a juvenile hall. And I remember some of the kids I worked with. I would interact with them and I would think, why is this kid here? They're the most respectful, polite, considerate, kind, just does what it doesn't make any sense. Why are they here? And I would read the report, the court report of what they did. That was part of what would happen when people would come in. We'd read up on them, know what was going on with them, know who they could and couldn't be around, what units they should or shouldn't be in. Some of the stuff I read, you wouldn't believe it unless you read it. It was some of the most disturbing things you could imagine. And a lot of their backgrounds were similar. They came from the same kind of broken situations where you look at someone and you're like, dang it, they never had a chance. But there are people all the time that come from those situations and they make something great out of themselves and they don't basically kill people. But there was a couple of different things. There was people that I would meet and I would read those things and I'm like, because they could fool you, man. Maybe they're not necessarily fooling you. Maybe they got different personalities. Just shows you what they're capable of. But then there was also people who seemed the same way I put. Like, why are they here? And a lot of the time it was, I want to remember what my point was. Here it is. I've spent, the reason I brought that story up is to let you know that I've firsthand spent significant amounts of time with criminals, with people who did, with people who actually intentionally killed multiple people. And some of them, not all of them, some of them are just evil. But some of them had these issues that, like someone like Roger, what the heck could you do with someone like that? Where he seems to be a likable enough person where people like to watch his streams. People think he's a respectable young man. He's this and that, but then yet he still does this. What the heck do you do with someone like that? It's so easy to lock someone up and throw away the key when they're clearly an animal. I worked with people like that. They were an animal every second of the day. And they were attacking people and they were cussing people out. They were spitting on people. They're throwing their pee on people. But then there were other people that's like, bro, what are you doing here? And if they didn't get their meds, they'd attack a nurse or something like that. They were just a different, they just went somewhere else. And I know we're not all the same. Some people are meant to have the heart and the disposition to be social workers. Some people are able to deal with criminals and be probation officers, parole officers. Other people are therapists. There's different kinds of people that are wired different ways. And me, I just so happen to be the kind of person that when I encounter somebody who is clearly somewhat developmentally unstable, maybe got super abused and neglected as a child, it's kind of like that age-old, would you kill Hitler when he was a baby kind of thing, And I would. But I don't want to take this conversation down a path I didn't mean it to go. This stream was not to show any kind of remorse to Roger. The reason that I did this stream was because I did not like or appreciate the ignorant reception that Chael Sonnen got. And again, I will reiterate, I don't like that dude. But I thought it was unfair because you have someone that has such pro wrestling knowledge about kayfabe and what the depths and lengths that people are willing to go. Wrestlers will live and die by kayfabe. They take that very seriously. That's why Vince McMahon got all mad at Triple H and didn't even let him get the bout and everything when him and Shawn Michaels and Kevin Nash and Scott Hall were like hugging and all that. It was like, kayfabe is huge. So I understand when Chael is like, oh yeah, Psycho Stu might wake up and say, yeah, it was a work. We know it was a work. We already know that. The tricky thing was, I don't know if Chael Sonnen was meaning to imply that Psycho Stu might wake up and say, yes, we agreed that he would hit me 23 times. That would have to be very specific. So I think that's the absurdity of that might be what upset people about Chael Sonnen. But it's like people were pretending that they don't. It's not Sonnen's fault if you don't know what kayfabe is. Because again, like, people were getting mad at Maven at Rob Van Dam for talking about this. And I'm hesitant to mention Mark Henry because Mark Henry, he took it a little far out there. But people are getting mad at these dudes who know the most about it. They're getting mad at dudes in the industry that know the jargon, that know the lifestyle and the culture and how that's their whole identity is the kayfabe. That's why Psycho Stu was so, the moment he saw there was a camera, I'm going to smack a can on someone's head. That's the life. It ain't playing around. That's the life. Oh, there's a camera on? I'm smacking someone in the head with a foreign object. They're real about that. So some noob can't come in with a pitchfork and be like, that doesn't mean this, and I don't know what kayfabe is, so who cares? He's evil. And it's a hard thing to argue because while Roger was wrong and he should be held accountable, I just feel like people got upset with Chael for the wrong reasons. And I don't want to live in a world where people can act like they did with Chael and get away with it. That's the whole reason I'm making this video. It's not to defend Raja. It's not even necessarily to defend Chael Sonnen. I don't want to live in a world where this angry mob can come into his community and act like they know more about people who actually know about pro wrestling. Just because of how mad they are. That's what bothered me. I do think any reasonable human being would have stopped after the slam. Not even one punch, not even two. Any reasonable human being would have stopped immediately after the slam. So yes, Roger is a danger to society. And it's sad because I 100% believe that was fostered. I don't think Roger had to be like that. And I hate to see it. Raja didn't have to be like that. He seems like someone that was severely neglected and taken for granted, mistreated. I'm not going to go as far as saying I believe he was abused. Certainly he was, I shouldn't downplay it. Certainly he was verbally abused. And I hate to see something so stupid happen. Because of something that happened to this dude when he was a little kid that couldn't help himself. Now he's an adult. Now he's an adult that's going to have to pay for it. But he became that adult because he was once upon a time the kid that didn't deserve the way he was treated or not treated at a time when he couldn't do anything about it. And now he's this man that has to take full responsibility because of something stupid that he did. And it's such a shame. And I understand that I'm opening a door to people getting mad at me because I'm having empathy. Because most people in this situation seems like they just want to be mad, and that's the only gear that there's room for. But again, two things could be right. Did he do something so disgusting and stupid and should be held accountable? Yes. But man, he didn't have to be that guy. It was so easily avoidable. How many millions of steps along the way made him be like that? That is annoying. I could come on here and grandstand and pander to you and tell you how evil he is and he should die and this and that. But I just hate to see someone have to turn into something like that when that didn't have to be the case. Bro. ARJR721 just sent 100 big ones to my PayPal. Yeah, he says for groceries, we had Marilena had Marilena had just ordered groceries. And then our fridge went And then we just got like the most basic necessities and we got this baby little cheap fridge from Home Depot, this tiny little thing. And just put a few things in it for the kids lunch and stuff like that. So that's huge, bro. I was literally talking about Marilena about this earlier. Like, hey, what are we what are we gonna do? I don't want to eat hot dogs 3 days in a row for dinner. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you. Again, I know sometimes it's just a little thing here and there, and people think, that's what you do in the chats, and slide something here and there, say something funny. But this is real life, man. This is our literal meals right here, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you, for real. I don't know if you want me to say I'll just say your first name. I just got 15 big ones in the PayPal. 15 big ones from Reginald. And Reginald says, this is just to be silly, but let us know the odds of Jeff Hardy having bodies buried somewhere. Thank you, Reginald. Look, if I remember correctly, because when I was a lot younger, it was like the Hardy Boys, crazy high-flying guys, exciting, all that. I think I stopped watching wrestling right before Jeff Hardy had this crazy arc where he got all weird and dark and stuff like that. I think I dipped out before that, but I would see clips way after the fact. Like years later, I saw clips. I was like, what happened? What happened to those dudes? When did this happen? I missed that whole era. But yeah, bro, and even Rampage said it. He said those wrestlers are as crazy as we are. The more you see about like wrestlers behind the scenes and stuff and how they're just always partying and they live that hard life and they're always traveling, they're always on the road, they're always just not taking care of their bodies. And they go through some dark times, man. Like, imagine the stuff like wrestlers like that and even in the older days must have done and got away with before there was social media. Can't even imagine, bro. Check under that guy's basement. So I wouldn't doubt it, bro. I wouldn't doubt it. I don't even think that's that silly. I could see that for sure. Thank you, bro. Grendel HVS just sent 10 Mexican martial arts memberships. Thank you, bro. We are family. Cause I got all my homies with me. Congratulations, Taz the Wolverine, Cassius, Kaiju. Let's go, Brandon. Smokey P. Omar A. Oh, snap. It skipped on me. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Uh-oh. Gavin. Motivation Molecule. Bruce Almighty and CJ Halliday. Congratulations. Please don't forget to scope the membership perks tab so you can see all the Mexican martial arts dark web contents not meant for the general population. Bunch of special behind the scenes up there for you. Tarinto, Rampage's son, cooked for him. He broke the plate. So I'm telling you, bro. Like I gotta admit, I would laugh at so much. I didn't see that part. I would laugh at so much of it. Like, Rampage is funny, man. But like when you consider, like when you take yourself outside of it and you're like, yeah, but that's his son. That changes it. GM ARGR721 GM, did you watch the Renaissance Man St. Crispin's Day clip? I did not. Renaissance Man St. Crispin's Day clip. That sounds familiar. Did you bring it up in a chat? I remember something about Renaissance Man. Renaissance Man. Okay, I got it open now. I'm going to watch it. It's 3 minutes long, so you probably don't want me to watch it right now because I don't want to make things funky. But I literally just opened the tab, so I'm going to watch it. I've never seen it, though, so I like to see new stuff. Aral. Thank you, Aral. I appreciate you. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for supporting the Mexican PBS Telethon. Joseph Jang has a self-inflicted membership. Thank you very much. Scope those contents. Make the most of it. I'm going to be doing more members-only streams, and I'm going to be slapping more stuff in there for you because we're growing. Oh, sorry, Beto. I mean, thank you, Beto. Wait, what the heck? How did I not see this? A big shout out to JP Designs and Fabrication. If any of you are looking for designs and or fabrication, even if you're just looking for JP, I want you to look up JP Designs and Fabrication. This dude just slapped down 20 big ones. 20 big ones into my PayPal. JP Designs and Fabrication. That's where you get all your designs and fabrication and JP needs. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I also want to say thank you to Joseph. To Joseph for slapping down one big one. A big one into my PayPal. One big dollarini. Thank you, bro. Oh, what the heck? I didn't even see this one. I also want to say thank you to Shane. I try not to say last names on here unless I see you in the chat and your public name is already out there. Thank you, Shane. Just slapped down 10 big ones in the PayPal. Thank you, bro. Buyer hasn't entered any instructions, just wants to support. Thank you. I just got an email from Dick Sporting Goods. Dick Sporting Goods heard me talking about him. Thank you again, Shane. Thank you, bro. Good movie. This clip reminds me of The Dojo. Oh, nice. I'm gonna have to put it in a video. Okay, so now that I've laid it all out, just again, it doesn't change anything. Honestly, I don't believe it. I don't buy it. When people say, he went in there to kill him. He meant to kill him. He was trying to murder him. That's exactly what he was trying to do. I don't buy that. Like, as off as I think he is. And again, no excuses, but something I forgot to even talk about. He just had a concussion. And I mean, even the show The Office made a whole episode about when Dwight Schrute had a concussion and he became like best friends with Pam when they're always like enemies. And he was acting way different. And then after he got fixed, he didn't even remember anything. Like that's a real thing. People often get concussions and they act different. They take on different personalities. They don't remember things. So again, if I had a loved one that was in the situation of Psycho Stu, I wouldn't care about any concussion. So I'm gonna keep being objective and saying, yeah, I still wouldn't care, still lock him up, right? I'm not making that as an excuse, but I think it's disingenuous when people act like that's not a possibility. You can't do that. I'll still put myself in the place and say, yes, if it was my loved one, still lock him up. But you guys can't, and I'm not saying you guys, I'm saying those who feel on the other side of it. You can't just dismiss the concussion. You can't dismiss science. That's still something. Yes, still give him a consequence, but you can't act like that can't play a role. And I'm sure, and we all know people that have had concussions and don't act different whatsoever. Cool. You can't make all your arguments and opinions anecdotal just because you had a friend or a brother or whatever. Because we know there are situations where it absolutely was a factor. And we don't know in this case. We didn't scan his brain. It could have been a factor. It could have not been a factor. But to just dismiss it 100% is disingenuous. And you're just being lazy and jumping on a bandwagon and having your ears tickled. You're just taking the lazy route. I do not think he went in there with the intention to kill him, even though I think he's off. I think that would be, it's so low hanging fruit. And the amount of evidence, if that was his intention, that he put into his chat, I'm going to do this to him, I'm not going to stop. I don't think it's that bad when he says, I'm not going to stop. They're going to be real punches. Yeah, because he's dumb. He also said in the same chat that it doesn't matter that he said, I'm going to keep hitting him. He literally said that they gave him the green light to do that. So it's not a big flex. He also said that they told him to keep hitting him till they pull him off. And it's not a big incriminating thing for him to be like, I'm going to give him real hits if he was that dumb and thought it was real hits like in Pride. But again, I don't believe that he had to go in there with the intention to kill him to get locked up. It doesn't change that. But I think it's lazy and ignorant when people are like, he had to have gone in there specifically with the intent to kill him. That's like something that would happen like in a movie. It's just too easy. It's too corny. I think he just had too much pent-up aggression. Didn't have the means, the capabilities to know how to deal with it like a normal, rational person and put that aside and stop. And all the anger and bitterness and hatred that he has built up from his chat section, from his dad, from whatever. He misplaced it and didn't have the maturity to stop doing what he was doing. Hey, Reginald, thank you, bro. Thank you again. I just saw your name pop up again when I opened this. Want to make sure you know you're appreciated. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. This is from Hoser the guy and Hoser the gal. Double whammy. I appreciate you both. Because the GM is cool. Heart emoji. Thank you, Hoser the guy and Hoser the gal. I appreciate you both. Slap down 15 big ones. $1 for them Costco weenies. Thank you. I'm addicted. I'm addicted to them Costco weenies. Thank you, Hoser the guy and Hoser the gal. Just tell me this then. Tell me this. Do you think, and I'm talking to, I guess, anyone who wants to respond to this, because it looks like a couple people want to disagree with me. Do you think 100%, and I'm not speaking hyperbolically, do you think he literally actually went in there thinking, I'm going to murder him and take his life? Are you seriously telling me that you think that's what his plan was? I want you to say it in the most plain, basic words you can. Are you literally telling me that he thought, I'm going to murder him as in I'm going to take his life and he's going to be in a cemetery? Are you serious? Now, I could get on board with him being crazy and erratic and immature and a danger to society, and he was just thinking, I'm seeing red. I want to beat this guy. But are you literally saying, just say yes or no. Are you literally saying, yes, I believe he wanted to take his life and make him show up in an obituary? Is that what you're saying? Okay, thank you. No, but when they tried to go back after they took him off is so Justin, I totally get what you're saying because I've had to address that myself. Because I don't come to you guys like I've said this before. I got that analysis paralysis bad. And I work all this out in my own beanie before I even come to you with anything. I already knew. It's just like when I make my videos and I'm like, I know what you're saying. And I'm already trying to guess what your objections are going to be so I'll know how to respond. I saw him try to go back. That's no different than like Khabib trying to go back and get Conor and Herb Dean trying to step in the middle, or like not wanting to let go of a choke, or like we've seen those things all the time in UFC. And here was my thought on that. If Raja was so dumb that he literally was told, hit him until we pull you off. And he's so used to seeing these fixed pride fights and seeing what those look like and thinking that's what it's like. If he didn't know anything about pro wrestling, what do they do in those fights? Sometimes they're like, they want to look like an animal, you know, they want to look like a dog. I'm not, what am I supposed to do the moment the ref touches me? And run out the ring? No, they want to look hard. You know, they want to look tough. And they do that a lot. You hold me back. Hold me back. That's part of it, you know? So I already saw that before. And I thought, well, how would I respond to that? Because it looks like he was fighting getting pulled off. Now, there's two things. Because I don't want to... I need to be as truthful with myself as can be. There's two things. Number one, he could have either been like, oh, I know what fights look like. I know what fighters are supposed to look like. I'm going to look tough and I'm going to look like a pit bull and I'm going to make them really peel them off me. That's one scenario. The other scenario is he's crazy. He's crazy. So Justin Sanders, in that way, I agree with you. I agree with you that, because I feel like we're saying the same things with different words. I believe it's absolutely possible, and honestly, probably most likely, that at some point, whether it was the moment he got out of his seat, the moment his body crossed those ropes, the moment he actually picked them up, the moment he slammed them, at some point, he went into some weird, dark, out of control, too far to go back now place. And it is definitely a likely possibility that when they pulled him off, he was so in that mode of seeing red, and just like a pit bull when they have their mouth locked onto something and they don't want to let go and they're not gonna let go, and they're just not genetically wired to let go, that maybe he wanted to go back and just keep pummeling them. Yes. But, we could agree to disagree. I don't need to be somebody that has to have everyone agree with me or else I think you're an idiot. I'm not trying to act like that. But myself, I think there's a world where Raja went back and he wanted to keep hitting and hitting and hitting, yet not think, I want to make sure he's dead. I think that could exist. And I think some people are having a problem with those two things being able to exist. I think there's a possibility that he wanted to go back and keep hitting him 500 more times. But I believe someone could do that without literally thinking, I want to make sure he's dead and not breathing anymore and he's gone from this earth. And I know most rational people can't separate that. But that's the thing, he's not rational. Most rational people would think, well, if I hit him this many times, he's probably going to die. Raja doesn't seem to have typical mental faculties and capabilities. So I believe there's a world in which he could think, I want to hit him 2,000 more times, yet never have the thought cross his mind, I also want to make sure he's no longer breathing and he's not alive anymore. I just don't buy that. But it doesn't change it. I think when people hear me say that, they think, oh, you're a Raja fan and you don't want him to have a consequence. No, he should go to jail. He's a danger to society. It doesn't have to be, he didn't have to have it all sketched out in his notepad how he was going to make sure he was no longer with life. He said he would not stop. Yeah, I know. Because he said, I'm not going to stop. They said they're going to peel me off. That was his understanding. I feel like people aren't understanding what I'm saying. Raj is dumb. I feel like maybe people are coming in at different times and they're not hearing everything I'm saying. You cannot expect Roger to think like you because he's dumb. So when you say something like, he said he would not stop, there you go, mic drop. No. Of course he said he would not stop because he also said in the same stream, they told me not to stop until they peel me off. And then, of course, when he's in the zone, he's going to hold me back. He's going to keep going. He's going to look like a wild animal. That's how it goes. But you can't expect him. Sometimes, like when I'm dealing with my kids, sometimes I have to check myself. Because as a parent, sometimes when we're dealing with our kids, we're thinking at our age, why would you do this? Why'd you do that? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you take care of that? Because we're thinking like how we operate. But then I got to think, where was my head at when I was that age? I gotta cool out a little bit. I got to show some grace. I got to remember what my mindset was when I was that age and address this in an appropriate fashion. I can't expect my child to be exactly where I'm at mentally right now. They need years to catch up. So some of you guys aren't, I think I'm starting to learn what people are lacking is empathy. They're so one-track minded, so simple-minded that they can't even go outside of their own thing. They can't even wrap their beanies around how could this person feel? How could they think in that? Because they're just so caught up in what they think reality is. There's not even any room to consider how another person could possibly think or feel or operate in the same situation. It's just so black and white. And that's a dangerous way to go through life. No, you're right, Justin. It's still a crime. And he's still a danger to society. He's 25 years old. He knows I could have killed him. Again, you're giving him too much credit. Should he know that at 25? He should know that at 15. He's not all there. He's somebody that is a danger to society. Somebody that is not mentally where you want them to be in a society that you live and function in. There's a couple things that could be going on that he's just so out of it that he either didn't know that or there wasn't even the room to think about that. It's just, I'm angry. I want to beat your face in. That's how like a wild animal thinks. It's all on instinct. So I think people get their panties in a bunch because they think I'm trying to give them excuses. No. I don't think that he has the mental acumen that you're trying to place on him. It's like we try to project how we think onto someone else to read a situation. That's not how it works. Different people have different levels of maturity and intelligence. So you can't look at a situation like this and be like, this is how he was thinking. He must have been thinking this just because that's how you think. That's not how things work. That's a very narcissistic way to think. Chuck Fury at FuriousComedy.com. I believe the technical term is dumber than dog. Yeah, Chuck Fury, yes. So, and again, not many people are expressing themselves this way. A lot of other MMA content creators are capitalizing on this and totally disgustingly pandering. because they know what people want to hear and they're feeding into it. And it's good for appearances. It's a good look because they want to make sure they're so preoccupied with being on the right side of history. And the virtue signaling is making me sick. There's a lot more going on than, it's being made a very simplistic topic. But yes, it makes me sad because Raja does seem unintelligent. And what makes me sad is I don't believe he had to end up that way. And it's unfortunate. But yes. As it stands, he is a danger to society and he should have consequences. Both things can exist. He can be a dangerous person who should be locked up, while it also being a sad fact that he had to turn out this way because it didn't have to be the case. Both things can exist. Yeah, I like that actually. The GM is explaining the differences between excuses and explanations. I've been in disagreements with people before, and boy, is it complicated with certain people to get them to understand. Sometimes there can be explanations without them having the intention of serving as an excuse. Some people can't understand that. They start to hear the explanation. They're like, no, how dare you? This is how we're supposed to feel. And it's like, bro, I'm not excusing it. I'm providing context. There can be explanations that aren't excuses. There's definitely a difference. I think I'm actually caught up right here. Wonder Dog, that's a very assumptive thing for you to say. Raja isn't stupid. He just can't help himself. I mean, it's not like I'm eager to say he's stupid. It's just we don't know what's going on in his brain. I can't make a claim like that set in stone just like you can. We don't know. We don't know where he stands mentally, developmentally. We have no idea. I know when I watch the footage, he seems different. He always seems like he's kind of far off, not really there. He always seems like he's a step behind, always responding to things real slow and awkwardly. We don't know. Unlabored flawlessness. Promo code VOTO. You could tell what they really care about because all the titles start with "he needs to go to jail" or something along. It's total pandering, and it's lazy and it's pathetic. And people know how to grow their channels. People know what people want to hear, and it's easy. We live in a generation, I keep saying it, where one of the most important things to people is virtue signaling, letting people know, that how high in regard they should hold you, and you're so righteous, and you still drive with your mask on in the car. I mean, like, that whole thing right there should tell us people were so preoccupied with being on the right side of history, and now it's like, now what do you got to say? What do you got to say now? People just get so caught up with wanting to be on the right side and play it safe. Love you, dog. Learn and live, homie. I mean, I don't think we're disagreeing a whole bunch. Because, yeah, I don't think he could help himself either. I don't think somebody that did what he did is a person that's in control of their actions. I agree with you. It's very sad. It's very sad because I look at someone like Raja and I look at the footage of when he was a little kid, looking at Rampage hold his other kids that he seemed, I don't want to make any assumptions. And that few seconds of footage, he seemed to be very present and happy and adoring those kids, the half Asian kids. And Raja's just looking on like, he just looked so longingly to want to be loved like that and held and paid attention to. And it seems like he just grew up being the butt of a joke. And, you know, you got to act like this, don't act like that. Seeing his dad do the most inappropriate things and just be exposed to the most immature, crazy sorority boy type of behavior. It's like, what the heck did we think was going to happen to him? No excuses, still a danger to society, but dang it shouldn't have happened. It's disturbing how easily someone could become a parent without being qualified. Kids don't ask to come into this world, but they're the ones that suffer for the people that are unequipped. It's a shame. Um, because no, if it's coming out sounding like excuses, well, first of all, and it doesn't sound like, I don't know what your intentions are. I don't know. I know for some people that are just mad and are just one track minded and just want to revolt, pitchfork, burn everything. The moment any kind of context is given, it's going to sound like an excuse. It's just, I mean, we've heard about the cycle of abuse forever. Someone that is sensually abused as a kid. A lot of the time, unfortunately, they grow up and they do the same thing to other people, right? So let's say there's a guy that has grown up and he's 40 years old and he's doing that to kids now, right? I would like to decapitate him. I have no pity for him, no remorse for him. I think he doesn't deserve to exist. But what still exists is the ability to say, dang it. At one point, that dude was a baby that, man, he didn't have to have what happened to him happen. And it set him on this trajectory that just destroyed any kind of humanity in his brain. And it made him become the monster that he became. And what some people do is they're able to say, even though I don't want that dude to breathe the breath of life anymore and exist, and he's an animal and I will kill him myself. At the same time, you could go like, dang, at one time he was 1 year old and he was a clean slate. And it's so unfortunate. And people are so wicked. Why did this have to happen? That's it. That's all there is. Doesn't excuse it. Doesn't make it go away. Doesn't justify it. It's just, here's this and here's this. That's it. Yeah, Tom Bullard. Yeah. There's no ears to hear. He did, David. He handled them very, very easily. Um, Parents could really screw up their kids. Then the kids who become adult is left holding the bag. That's something the majority have to recognize and deal with. I mean, it's true and it's complicated because again, when we think about our loved ones, if something happened to them, they're a criminal, they're dead, they're evil. Let's get rid of them. So I understand how passionate people could be about wanting to deal with criminals, but yeah, they didn't come out the womb like that. So sometimes all it is, people that don't really like how this sounds, sometimes all it is just some people think a little bit differently and they consider the comprehensive view of these things. That's why some people end up being social workers and therapists and working with criminals and stuff like that, because they have that part of their brain. They have that natural inclination to consider such things, to be empathetic about certain, and some people aren't. And okay, that I get it. That exists too. Yeah, Justin, there's definitely a gray in between. And all I want to do is make a place for that because it doesn't seem like any other channels are interested in that. I agree completely with you, Max. I never understood why victims become abusers. Why don't they say, I would never victimize someone after the way I felt? I get it. I've thought the same thing. Like, if you hated it so much, wouldn't that make you want to do everything to stand against it? I don't get it. Unless it just has to happen at a certain point in time when they still have a certain mentality where they're like, oh, this is how you act. This is how you operate. This is how you interact with the world. I don't know. I've thought the same thing. Yeah, T-Nows, and that's why I don't want to be messed up. I don't think it's funny to try to poke at the potential possibilities of Raja's mental capacities. I don't know. I don't want to call him names and I don't know, but it seems like maybe there's something up here that doesn't allow for an awareness. Yeah, exactly. Oral. It's like, what? What the heck? You're absolutely correct. That's why I keep saying it was the absolute perfect storm. Multiple people, so many people did the perfectly wrong thing in this situation. And Stu clearly, and a lot of the other MMA YouTubers, I don't know if I'm sure they have. I don't think I've heard anyone talk about it though. It seems like people are so afraid of saying anything that could be misconstrued as negative towards Stu because of the state he's in, but he clearly seemed to be intoxicated or definitely on his way there. So yeah, they shouldn't even have had him wrestling in that state. He's going to be more likely to lose consciousness and not have his faculties about him, not be able to defend himself properly. No, you're good, man. You're good. What I did what I did with my first stream the other day, my free Raja stream, what that was, I was being a little sarcastic. I was being a little facetious because I was getting frustrated with the community at large. Because I had just spent a pretty significant amount of time watching and following the John Provolone situation, the French streamer, the kick streamer that died because the chat was egging them on and paying money to torture John. And if that sounds like, well, that's crazy, look it up. Their whole shtick was literally they built their whole career on torturing this dude. I think they were doing it for a few years. It was like a snuff channel. They would literally torture him. They'd waterboard him. They'd punch him in the head. And the chat would donate money and tell them what to do to him. And the guy died. And then this happens. And everyone's like, burn him, hang him, lynch him. And I'm like, clearly this is a weak-minded individual. Still guilty. Still a danger to society. Still should be held accountable. But if you're taking this guy who's a danger to society, and you're not only provoking him in the chat, but you're paying money to do this, those animals should be held accountable, because they're dealing with someone who they know. And that's why they're doing it, because they think it's funny, because they've seen it time after time, that they're dealing with someone that doesn't have the mental capacity to turn them off and say, you guys are stupid. Get out of here. They knew that they were dealing with someone that has the mental capacity and insecurities to actually take the bait. Those people should be held accountable. Because of people like that, John Provolone is dead. Not recovering, not with the GoFundMe. He's dead. And now they did it in this stream. Now they're going to do it in another stream, and another, and another, and another. And I was like, why isn't anyone talking about this? There's one Raja Jackson. There's just one. There's thousands of those animals in the chat. They're going to go on to fight another day. Someone else is going to be dead. So that stream I did the other day was me kind of acting out and just being upset. That's like, these animals are going to go on and keep doing this with zero accountability. And all people have to say is, well, grown man doesn't have to listen to that. You take the wrong grown man and people are going to die. Is that going to make you feel better because you get that stupid little shiny, perfectly packaged argument? That excuse? You know what that reminds me of? I was thinking of this earlier, and I'm glad I didn't forget. Well, I did forget, but I was just reminded. You know what Raja reminds me of? I couldn't remember, and then I was Googling it. I was Googling like mouses and stuff. I was like, what the heck was that? Of Mice and Men. Raja reminds me of Lenny. And if you've seen Of Mice and Men, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Raja reminds me of a dude that didn't have the mental capacities and capabilities to do what he should have done in that situation. And he was around the perfect storm of the worst people and the worst circumstances to allow the worst things to play out. That's what he reminds me of in this situation, Lenny. Not quite as endearing. But I watched it earlier. I went and I watched that scene. And I think he killed a couple. He killed the animal. And then he broke that guy's hand. And then he killed that lady. And when in the scene where he kills her, he's being aggressive. But he's like, stop, be quiet, I'm going to get in trouble. And he knew what he was doing. And he knew he was exerting too much physical force. But in his warped mind, in his warped mind, he was able to justify why he was doing it. I'm going to get in trouble. I forgot what her husband's name was. He's going to get mad at me. Please stop yelling. And it just seems like the same thing with Raja, a unadjusted dude that isn't all put together, that was in a perfect storm type of situation. It's like these people perfectly teed up a dude that was capable of the most ugly, violent thing. He did not act alone in this. It's like, I hate bullies. I I remember I would never get in fights ever. I've always like, I even adults. I think if you're an adult and you get in fights, you gotta be an idiot. If you're a full grown adult and you're out there getting in fights, you gotta have something wrong with you. Like you don't have the social skills, you don't have the communication skills to talk yourself out of a bad situation or to avoid it. Like I don't understand that. But I remember the only alterations I ever got in, that I could remember, I believe this is the case, that I ever got in was when I was defending someone against a bully. I hate bullies. And there's people that shoot up schools and stuff all the time like that because of bullies. It doesn't take anything away from the fact that that kid shouldn't have done that and he's evil and they should throw the book at him. But man, we gotta go after those stupid bullies too. We gotta go after those people that foster these kind of environments. Because you know what? There's always gonna be another Raja. There's always gonna be another dude that's wild and is a loose cannon and is a danger to society. Look, think about it this way. The Village People looking dude with the cowboy hat, I don't think he's a danger to society. Based off what I've seen, I don't think he's the kind of dude that's going to go out and basically kill somebody. That Samoan-looking dude that they were calling the promoter, that said, yeah, go ahead, give him his receipt. I don't think he's the kind of dude that's going to go out and kill somebody. The other dude that came out and said his hand was sweaty and shook Raja's hand and was trying to make it better, I don't think he's going to go out and kill somebody. But they're the perfect kind of people to tee up someone that will go and kill somebody. That's what's had me so frustrated about this whole thing. That we're so focused on one dude that, yeah, was wrong, and yeah, is a danger to society, and yeah, should be held accountable. But why are we forgetting about everything else? It's not that simple. These same people could tee it up for the next guy, whether it's these people that were there on site at the promotion or all the idiots in the chat. It's so ignorant to think that Raja could have pulled all this off just on his own. And that's not me trying to help him. That's not me trying to do what a lot of people think Chael Sonnen was trying to do, vouch for him, try to give him a good excuse in court or something. I don't get views. No one's going to see this. I'm not trying to do anything on his behalf. I don't think putting any kind of blame on these other people is going to take any of the heat off of him. But it's wild to me that people are just so one-track minded about this. Yeah, Teen Alley, it always made me so mad that Jeffrey Dahmer's parents didn't allow them to study his brain. Oh, that bothered me. I remember I watched a movie or a documentary or so. I think it was the end of the series on Netflix. And it was like, oh, why we could have learned so much. Maybe Raja could get a get out of jail free card if he'll agree that upon death, he'll give up his brain for research. AJ Manakan, he was losing it. Well, I mean, this is after he lost his whole livelihood and everything, right? Or was this another one? He was very upset, yeah. Thank you, Jamaican bobsled team. Lorenzo Predicts was just giving some love. That name kind of sounds familiar. Lorenzo Predicts. Voice sweet and low says, who is it? She opened up the door and let me in. Never once did she. Oh, that dude. That's the dude that we, what's it called? That's the dude that we, what's it called when you go to their stream? That's right. That's cool. Tell him I said, what's up? Rampage is just responding to the fact that everyone in his DMs are making it about black people when it doesn't have to be. Spend 5 minutes in Guru's community and then tell me Rampage was the racist. Yeah, Yeah. Yeah. Um. Yeah. That's yeah. My stomach has been hurting because I've been taking in quite a bit of MMA content from different communities lately, and I was reminded of how much ugliness is out there. Our community is different. Our community is so different, and it, that frustrated me because I was so aware of a lot of the things that I had to say. I felt like people were gonna act like I was, what's it called? You Because you know how it seems like a lot of times when some kind of crime happens and it involves someone that's black, there's a whole narrative around like, oh, if it was a white guy, he would have already been arrested, and it would, you know. And I was like, the moment I say anything about the fact that other parties were involved, other parties were a part of making this happen, there's other things to consider. That's gonna be like, oh, he's just trying to. I don't even know what they call it. Um, he went full BLM. I don't know. It's just such a strong narrative about that is made that it's like you can't even say anything unless you're just saying the worst things about Raja. I don't play the race card one way or other. I think it's so lazy. Um, what the heck?
We are
Family.
Cause I
'Cause I
got
got all my homies with me. Um, some people say, you know, they can't believe. The best thing there ever was. Wait, the best thing there ever was. It takes a bigger man to walk away from a fight than it does to fight. I agree. I could have been in, and I'm not saying like, oh, I could have been. We all could be. On a daily basis, there's so much opportunity for you to be in a fight on a daily basis. I mean, there's angry people that are just jumping at the opportunity to get in a fight and prove themselves and their insecurities on a daily basis. It's so easy to get into a fight. There's been times in my life where I just took a breath and looked the other way and walked the other way because I realized I have people I care about. I have people I love. I have people I'm responsible to. I got something to lose. This is not worth it. And it's just people who live like dogs, like instinctual, that they can't think that, and they act. Um, Ron Mon, you're a I almost said bacon. I'm hungry. You're a beacon of hope, Grandmaster. Thank you, Ron Mon. I appreciate that. Thank you. Um, a lot of the anger and loudness and just craziness of the MMA community lately kind of reminded me of my role here and who and what I want to be and what I definitely don't want to be. Thank you, bro. Cheese Lyman. Cheese Lyman. With that self-inflicted membership. I appreciate it. Scope the membership perks tab and get into that deep Dark web of the Mexican martial arts. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Hidden content in there not made for the general pop. You got some great perspectives and insight, GM. Thank you, bro. Thank you. At least I got something to offer. Stu kind of attacked him first, and if Raja had a problem, he should have handled it right there instead of accepting an apology. People would have kind of respected him if he stood on business. Absolutely. Even people that are super angry and going against him and saying he's this and that are saying the same thing. Yep. What he did was just dirty and backhanded and dishonest. Yep. Float on. Float on. Float on. Is Raja autistic? I'll be completely honest. I wasn't gonna willingly throw that out there because I know how people act and they think, oh, you're trying to be funny. I was trying hard not to use that word earlier because I'm familiar with that topic. And a lot of the blank looks in his face and the way he interacts or the lack thereof, his social skills and the lack thereof, like a lot of things I see in his behavior, in his body language, on his face, and the way he communicates, I would absolutely think that's a huge possibility, a huge one. Someone else here saying, I believe Roger's autistic. He has that blank autistic stare. That's what I was referring to earlier when I was talking about that stare. Maybe fetal alcohol syndrome. You see, we don't, yeah, it could be so many things. He legit might have some type of autism, and that's not being insulting. Yeah, I legitimately thought the same thing. But I know how people could take it. It's like, I'm not even going to turn it into... Because there's been other channels name-calling and using words that I don't use. And it's like, I'm not even going to open up that door. But yeah, I agree. And I don't think there's anything... I think some of the most brilliant people that have ever lived they were on the spectrum. So I don't think that's anything to be ashamed about. But I know how people could react to that, and what he did is called premeditated murder. All I would ask you, Martin, is to just elaborate on that, because there were so many things said. That's why they haven't arrested him yet. He was told, and he said on stream, because I know it looks like he just dumped a bunch of evidence onto stream. He said on his stream that they told him to keep swinging until they peeled him off. So I know one of the things you're saying, it was attempted murder, because I've heard other channels saying it. He literally said on stream, he's not going to stop hitting him. It was attempted murder. Well, the people told him not to stop hitting him until they peel him off. So all I would ask you is, okay, cool. I respect everyone having an opinion, but what are you basing that on? I respect you for going as far to reject the wave in your chat yesterday to speak your mind. Well, thank you, bro. I don't intentionally try to be like a shock jock person or go against the grain or just be different. But it's like, I definitely won't be afraid of saying something if I think it's true. I definitely won't be afraid of speaking my mind if I think people are leaving out something important, if I think people are being hypocritical. I just care too much about truth to care what people think about me. So thank you. Rants a lot. You're right. Hey, Carrick, thank you. None taken. I appreciate that. Some people don't like it. Sometimes I get in my beanie about it. Like, should I change it up or something? First time I'm hearing the promotion said not to stop swinging. If that's true, then Roger should not go to jail at all. That's I haven't heard a single other, the Weasel, that little Weasel made a video. And again, I don't know if you were here earlier. He was talking about Rob Van Dam, about Chael Sonnen, acting like I'm not even gonna watch them. I don't get it. They don't make sense. I'm not even gonna try to understand it. Well, of course, fool. That's why he didn't have all the facts. Rob Van Dam came on, and on one of his video, he made like an hour-long video. I watched like everything today because I wanted to come correct. In Rob Van Dam's video, he had a clip of another dude. I was trying to find the original source, but there's a clip of a dude, and apparently his mom is a lawyer, and they were breaking down everything that the promotion did and said to try to speak on the legalities of it. And the promotion told him, do not stop swinging until someone pulls you off. So that's why earlier I was saying this is a dude that admitted he doesn't know anything about professional wrestling. His dad was a professional MMA fighter in Pride, which is a promotion that had fixed fights all the time. So he probably thought, oh, I know what fixed fights look like. My dad was in a promotion that did those, and they looked like they were killing each other. So they taught me keep swinging till they pull me off. I'm going to keep swinging. And then dudes kind of half pull him off and kind of like they don't really get him. So he probably like, okay, is this the real thing or not? That one wrestler kind of acted like he was going to take him off, but didn't seem like he really had any intention behind it. Like he was scared. And then the ref kind of like didn't do anything. And so that's huge. That's a huge detail. Yeah, shades. Hey, shades. It's ironic. There are many shades. Well, okay, so he says, oh, it skipped on me. He literally said, I'm going off script. What do you think a dude's going to say when he's flexing in his chat? He's trying to look hard. He's insecure. They're clowning on him. His dad's clowning on him. Plus, the dude said, and there's something that has bothered me. The dude with the cowboy hat literally told him as they were walking down the hall, like, punch him, give him his receipt. But then later when he called him on the phone after it happened, he said, I told you to just double leg him. That has bothered me ever since then. That's an inconsistency. The dude with the cowboy hat in the hall said, hit him, tag him, give him his receipt. And then later on the phone, he said, what are you doing? I just told you to double leg him. That's not true. So that part has me kind of stuck. Because there's already an inconsistency there. But yeah, I mean, either way you want to look at it, he was told just tag him, just double leg him. Already from the start with the slam, he already went off script. Now, I'm going to be honest. The slam was weird to me. When he picked him up, it seemed like he hesitated. Almost like if he was thinking about what he was going to do next. He had him up for, maybe it's not as long as I'm remembering, but he had him up longer than he needed to for sure. And I'm wondering, was he trying to think in that moment, like, am I really going to do this? Or what am I going to do? I don't know. But it was a weird moment. Gavin Newsom probably told the local cops not to charge him. Oh, man. They should have pulled him off way faster. That's another thing that's very suspicious. Like I said, it was the perfect storm and so many people involved that made so many mistakes. Like, did everybody really hate this dude or something? Because script or not, any reasonable person who cared about Stu would have went in there so much faster. That part doesn't make any sense. Yup. What? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yeah, Wonder, you could tell. You could tell for sure. That dude seems sketchy. If you've never seen a meltdown from someone on the spectrum, they get violent. A lot of pent-up frustration, not being able to communicate with the world around you. And again, I believe there's got to be a decent amount of people in the chat that's aware of that, from relatives, classmates, whatever, and will still like, that's true. And yeah, I'm not taking away the fact that that person could still be considered a danger to society and still be accountable for their actions. Like, again, two things could be true. It's unfortunate. Because if I have a coworker who was born with a severe enough form of autism, and again, I know he might not even be autistic. I'm just saying, whatever the thing is, and he just has these outbursts and it happens. It's like, dang it, this Lenny from Mice of Man, like what were we supposed to do with this dude? But you still got to address it. They still had to kill him in the end. I haven't seen, if Rikishi did, I definitely haven't seen it. And yeah, he's probably on something. I would assume he's on something at the level that he's at, and not getting heavily tested by, something like USADA. He's probably messing around with something. Wait a minute, Brad Nelson, are you getting ads right now on my stream? I don't have those turned on because I don't like to annoy people in the middle of the stream. YouTube is starting to annoy me. I pay for premium to get away from ads. These streamers throw ads in their streams. Are you getting an ad right now? Or are you talking about people that just have like a sponsor? There definitely shouldn't be ads on this video right now. What does Bam Bam Bigelow think of all this? Yeah, Max B, for sure. I think at the time they didn't have a way to identify that, huh? No, the sponsorship and things, but you've not done one. Oh, good. Thank you, bro. I was feeling bad. I was like, oh, snap. That would be so annoying if people were having to deal with that on here. Okay, good. AJ Mana deserves multiple stink faces from Rikishi. Oh, so at the beginning they'll do that. If a stream is considered monetized, which I believe it has to be for people to even be able to even give donations, I have to monetize it. And then, by the way, if a video is not monetized, I get no views as it is. If a video is not monetized, YouTube won't show it to anybody because then they won't be able to make money. But yeah, the way they are, they'll at least show at the beginning, but they shouldn't show in between. I'm gonna have to dip out right now. I see the people are almost here. People got to get up for school and stuff. I gotta be a good father right now and help wrap up the night. I didn't even realize I was streaming for over 3 hours. That flew by. Look, I'm not and I know some people were calling me that the other day. I'm not a rage baiter. I'm not a shock jock. I'm not a typical YouTuber. I don't like upsetting people. I don't like fighting. Some people live for that. I don't like that. I like to have a good, happy community. I like people to be able to chill out in the gray area, chop it up, tell some jokes, talk about life experiences, make friends. And I'm not a person that's going to call you an idiot and disrespect you if you don't agree with me. I might think it. No, I'm playing. And I don't want to sound all soft and, I don't want to be like, this is a safe place. Like, I don't want to do that. But at the same time, it is. I'd like to think of this being a part of the MMA community where people could chill out, relax, take it easy, not walk on eggshells, not be on edge. Seems like all the other MMA channels are like that. So aggressive and confrontational and black and white. I don't like to foster that type of environment here. And if you felt a little bit of that from the last couple of days because of dealing with difficult situations, I apologize for that because that's not the community I want to have. And that's not the community we do have. If you spend a decent amount of time here, you'll realize this community is different. And I'm so happy about that. Mar Loca, good night, primo. And everyone in the chat, good night, prima. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate the consistent support. It's always just such a calming, just peaceful influence to have you here in the community. I appreciate you, Mar Loca. Thank you. Being able to come here every day is just such a relaxing, just a cool experience for me. And I want it to be like that for all of you. Nah, I'll never do that wonder dog. I don't report people. You guys, I thank you for being here. Thank you for carving the time out of your day. I'm gonna be back here tomorrow, whether it's a video and a stream or just a stream. I don't know, but I'm gonna be active. You be safe out there. You say your prayers and take your vitamins. And bro, don't let people lure you into a professional wrestling match. Whatever you do, I don't care if they smack you on the head with a can. Even if there's a